into a big, a big event here. And going back in time to this track is a good reminder of where we came from, or where this track came from as well. Some roots in our racing online here, came from this racetrack. So it's always fun to come back here. These guys are going to be, there's 3 heats right here. The top 10 from the qualifying they just made it into the main show, and then we have just a few drivers coming out of each heat here to really set the rest of the grid. So a lot of guys just going to go for these spots that
they're going to be difficult to get.
Not that many laps to get them.
No. Well, as you just stated, how it works here, 10 drivers in qualifying will lock themselves in. Those drivers, Kwame Scott, Thomas Sherman, Corey Abbott, Joyner there in the 03, Chad Thornquist in the 02, Shane Therian, Nogard there in the number 12, Brad Herman in the 86, Trey Holm, Dustin Durr, the final driver to lock themselves in qualifying. We will have actually 2 heats here. You see the lineup here of the first heat. Very difficult for these drivers here tonight that have to try to race their way in. Only 3 drivers from this heat actually make it into the show, and the rest of them go to the B main. So 3 in Heat 1, 3 in Heat 2, and then the B main will be the joint effort of all the failing drivers that didn't make it in both Heat 1 and Heat 2, and only 3 from that race will make it into the final feature here for tonight's race. So 34 drivers, I believe, showed up. About half of them are going to be going home, Harrison. So it's definitely, this might be just the show before the show. This may be more intense racing than we will actually see tonight. Maybe they'll take a breather once they get through here. But right now, there's no breathing. There's just concentrating on what you have to do. So it looks like we're waiting on a couple drivers still to show up. They have a couple more seconds before these drivers start to head out onto the track here. Chad Frankenfield, one of them. I don't see him lining up for the grid. Not going to grid, so he's going to hand it over to these drivers. So
the top 3 will advance.
Inside line will move up. We wanted to go live here for the heat races is because this is a throwback race. A lot of these drivers put a lot of effort in their paint schemes, and we wanted to make sure that they showed their efforts here tonight. You see down there in the 48, that's a Bojangle paint scheme there. I believe that's, let me hear. I have a little board here for me to help me out with all the car numbers and everything. I don't have them down, but that is a paint scheme right there. That's a throwback. Just as an example, there is a few drivers in tonight's race that have some effort into their paint schemes to show us for tonight's race. But that's Cole Snyder. Yeah, I do have Cole Snyder down there. Yes, that is somewhere on my board. I can't find it. So it's a Bojangles paint scheme, but pace car will be coming off here. I won't give my signature starting champ. That's reserved for the main race, but we will be going green here. 15 laps to decide 3 positions from these trucks that we have shown. Green flag is out, and looks like the inside lane not as formed as they should be, but that outside lane still stacking up. The battle there's for third. Oh, the 7 truck into the outside wall, and they are scattering in all different directions back there.
Yeah, this is very important. These heats, these guys, they don't want to be in this situation again, to race their way into the main race. So they want to get into that main race, get as many points as they possibly can, because now, we got a car on the wall on the outside out of turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like the 7 of Ray Bracey there did get turned around there. He's actually a funny paint scheme on his. His is a Homer Simpson Mr. Plow paint scheme. So not really a throwback to a race car, but throwback to Homer Simpson. Gets turned around, though, not in a funny aspect of the race. Gets a little high out of turn 3 and 4, but that's not actually what caused the wreck. Well, it kind of was. There was a car in the wall ahead of him, but came down right in front of the number 34 car there of York. It was Jimmy Johnson paint scheme that he ran back in the Cup a few years ago.
Yeah, the 47 and the 5 kind of tipped that off.
Yeah, 47 in the 05 there got a little bit of contact in front of him. 47, Sam Batwell, this Tony Stewart paint scheme, one of my favorites here tonight.
You're gonna see this through these heats tonight. You're gonna see all these aggressive moves being made because it's only 15 laps, and you know, not a lot of time for these drivers to get up front, as we're only taking 3 from each heat, and then 2 from the B main. So only 8 spots available here for a ton of drivers.
I got it here. 48 is Snyder there. He is in the Derek Cope paint scheme. So I did find it. I'm sorry, Snyder. We do see your Bojangles Derek Cope paint scheme. Kind of like Derek Cope. You kind of sometimes forget he's on track, but he's there. But and out front here, and not at a super speedway. So it's doing something that Derek Cope had not as much ability to do here.
I hope these guys keep this clean, because this could really drag out if with cautions.
I had a feeling this might be the case. As me and Harrison were talking about it, the intensity for these drivers are going to be higher for this than what they would have been for the race, I guarantee you, just because it's one thing to be in the race. You know, you can kind of take your time, but these are heat races. You got to be up at the front. There's no good finish being in fourth, because only the top 3 make it into the show. The others go into the B main, so you got to go and get that third place. It's it makes it a little bit more of painstaking to try to get up there. But again, we still got 12 laps left to go here. Cautions are on, so hopefully we'll have some green flag, allow these drivers to sort it out and end up with the best field of talent for the tonight's race here. But the pace car will be going off this time, and we'll be back under green here once they come out of turn 4. Love this view right here. We'll see the pace car turning off here, and then it's all up to the 48 of Snyder to take off at the restart line.
Green.
And green flag is out. The Bojangles car is underway.
You can see how slow they get up to speed with these trucks here. The pace speed is pretty slow. It's around 55 to 60 miles an hour, but the acceleration on these trucks, you know, they don't get up to speed, you know, initially too well, like a Cup car or an Xfinity car. But once they get up going, you can see they're driving pretty quick now.
Yeah, this is a difficult track. This is the old circuit. This is a throwback to the old Phoenix. Ooh, you see the 20 car come down just a little bit. So this is the old Phoenix, and it has no grip on it compared to the new Phoenix. You'll see these trucks sliding up, especially coming out of the turns. You'll see a lot of them end up having to come completely out of the throttle. Right here, a battle for second. That doesn't matter. It does not matter if you finish first or second or third in this heat race, because this does not determine your qualifying order. This just allows you to be able to go into the other lobby to be able to race into the main race. So the only thing that you have to do is just make sure that you are in that top 3. As you see the 85, what the 85 is trying to do is put a little cushion between him and that transfer spot. You don't want to be the driver that may be the set example from another driver of how much they want that position from you. So you might want to have a little bit of a gapping between you and that cutoff zone. But right now, the 20 car there, which is not the 20 car, actually, that's just what his paint scheme shows. His number is actually the 68 there of Hardcastle. He has now found himself into the 3rd spot, and Jaden Rasmus is now going to try to see if he can set to toe and be able to battle for that final transfer spot.
Yeah, our top 3, you know, consumed by all rookies here. So the rookies are really the class of the field so far in this heat. We'll see if any other veterans in the Elite Racing League can get up there, maybe give them a challenge there for that final transfer spot. But you know, that 48 is pulling away. He seems like he's got a good handle on this track, on a good handle on this truck. And yeah, you did mention about the surface earlier. You know, there's absolutely no grip out here compared to the new Phoenix. Old surface, cracks everywhere, bunch of seams, and you know, it's really hard to get this thing up to temperature. It's very hot out there as well, so it creates even more, you know, problems for tires sliding around and drivers getting loose, maybe on the center and exit of corners.
With the lack of grip comes multiple racing surface lines. You see that here as 85 sent a higher lane than the 20. The one car behind the 20 right now, which is the driver that's trying to gain his way up to that position. You can see how deep he's diving it. They're all sliding up and all different abilities to get around the turns. We'll see which one proves to be the better as here we come to 5 laps to go for the end of this stage. The one's desperately trying to dive it into the turn to see if he can catch up to the back of the 20. Oh, almost get the wall, the one did. Just trying to make sure he stays out of it. But we got a good battle starting to shape up also for the 5th spot. Again, that's outside the zone, but that does set you up for a decent starting position in the B main. So we got little battles popping up everywhere. Every spot matters right now as you try to work yourself at least into the transfer spot, if not, at least a good starting position for the B main.
Yeah, Hardcastle here, he's running hard. You know, Jaden Rasmus got to run him down for this final spot. And he's using all the tires he can. He's sending it into the corners, as you saw on that last lap in the turn 3. But Snyder out here, he's absolutely flying. He is really flying. He's over a 10th quicker than the next fastest car. So I mean, it just shows you how much of a handle he really does have on this track. So look out for him to be a player in the main race here tonight.
Yeah, what this does do for some of these drivers that have to try to qualify their way in, they get a brief example of what tonight's race has in store for them, and gets a little bit of a running to see how they compare to the competition. Like you said, keep an eye out for that 48 car. He may have something for how this field goes forward from here. But still, we've got 2 laps left to go to finish this out. So far, once they got split up a little bit there, the drivers have all kind of kept tempo with each other. No one really gained more than the next, though. As it stands right now, it looks like this might be our starting position, or our 3 new transfers is Snyder, Jones, and Hardcastle there.
And we're coming up here on this last lap, and yeah, you're right, Gerald. You know, these 3 they've stayed in the top 3 the entire race, it seems like, and they're going to finish that way. And really good performance by all 3 of them to make sure that they're safe, and they'll transfer right into the main race there tonight.
And final lap here, they come around to take the checkered here. Checkered flag is out, and the 48 car coming around will finish it off, and he will transfer in along with Hayden Jones in the 85, our Australian friend there, and also Andrew Hardcastle in the 68 truck will also find his way in. Rasmus will be the leader for tonight's B race, so he's still got a shot. There will be three to transfer in from the B main, so definitely still has a shot of being able to transfer himself into it. And if you were wondering, boy, this wasn't how they did it the last couple races. Why all of a sudden now we have these heat races? And the answer to that would be people were getting pretty upset that qualifying was the determining outcome of them racing or not with how many entries. Truck Series, way higher entry field than the Cup and Xfinity or any of the elite racing leagues field. The Truck Series had close to 70 entries, 70 to 80 to Daytona and at the last race at Nashville. So drivers wanted to see if they can race their way in rather than just have it all reliant on qualifying. But what we just saw right there was the top three qualifiers were the ones that raced their way in. So if that doesn't change with these three that you see right there, if they race their way in, then I think that the qualifying wasn't a big deciding factor if it's going to be the same outcome. But we'll find out here. We got a new list of drivers trying to get their way in. It looks like that's going to be the 70 Jesse Rasmus in that 70 vehicle. 62 is Cole Merkeret there, rookie driver. You knew who this paint scheme, didn't you, David?
Yeah, that's from Stroker Race. That's the Clyde Torkel chicken pit throwback.
I'm sure you stayed up all night to watch the very first episode of that. I don't. That's
it was
cool.
a movie. It was a movie.
Okay.
Burt Reynolds. You heard of him?
No, never heard of the guy.
Smokey the Bandit.
Green. It's gonna go out. Now we're in for the second heat race. 3 more drivers to determine their outcome here to try to get their way in. So right there, we got a couple drivers off the pace. 60 truck back there. Cody Harrington had a little bit of an issue, finds himself falling back. Jeff Green battling hard right now. 2 wide back there, almost 3 wide. Jeff Green on the bottom, trying to race his way in underneath the 07. The 07 is a purplish paint scheme. That's Josh Hodges there. Oh, Jeff Green going to be a little tight with him. Almost made contact right behind the 07 there. I believe that's the Joey Logano paint scheme, the 82 of Arnold there. He's going to be right on the back set of the 07, see if he can push him along. Jeff Green, oh, so close in that 82 around. Is he going to hit the wall? He's going to save it. He does tap the wall just a little bit there. He is going to be able to keep going, but kiss his hopes of making it in, at least in the B main, out of the out of the question there. He's not going to make it, unfortunately, for at least the heat race here. He might still have a chance in the B main, but we're still going green here, as got a little bit of gapping now starting to form with that all important 3rd place position there in the 69 to Jeff Green in 4th, as you see on screen.
We got a little cloud cover here, so it's going to cool down the racing surface a bit. It's going to, cool down the tires as well and help, achieve a little bit more grip for these drivers. But it won't last for long, as, we are in the desert here. It likes to rain sun down on us the entire time and make everything really hot. So this cloud cover won't last long, but, just a little tidbit. And it does gain you a little bit of grip, so you could possibly send it a little bit more into the corners and off. As you see, it starts to go away, as I mentioned the lap before. Quick cloud cover, but just an ever-changing, dynamic of a track, and the weather. I mean, you just always got to be on top of things like that.
As long as it doesn't end up doing like the Cup race, that little cloud cover shoots down some rain, we'll be just fine here. But, not yet in iRacing. No worries about rain, just some cloud cover. Jeff Green. Wow, you see how far he can throw it into these turns, trying everything he possibly can to be able to get closer to that 69. And as you were saying earlier in the early race, the rookies have come out forced tonight. Right now, our top 3 are all rookies, just like in the last race, the top 3 were rookies. So rookies are strong here. Oh, as you see, Jeff get a little bit too far and get himself into the wall. It's not going to stop him, but it will slow him down just a little bit there.
Yeah, our rookies tonight they're on it. They're on it for these heat races. They're showing why they belong here, why they deserve to be in the race, and why they should be competing with us here in the Elite Racing League. They're putting on a good show here, and Jeff Green he's a veteran. He's been in this series for a couple years now, and he finds himself 4th. I'm quite surprised, honestly.
He still has himself a shot to still be able to get there into tonight's races. He still will be in a great position if he can't be able to improve his position any further. He just got to stay out of that wall. Well, while we're spaced out just a little bit, let's go through the field of just some of these other paint schemes, because that's what we also get to enjoy tonight, some of these other paint schemes. Right behind Jeff Green, as we stated, the 07 there, that is a Kurt Busch paint scheme, I believe. Yep, there it is right there. That is a Kurt Busch paint scheme back in Cup when he drove the 51. I believe if we go back a couple more here, we'll see a couple other paint schemes. That's a paint scheme, but I'm not sure what it is. Same with that one. I'm pretty sure the one behind him in the 66 Harrington, I think that's what, what's his name, drove in the Xfinity yesterday night's race. I believe he had the same paint scheme. Timmy
Hill?
Whatever his name is. Timmy Hill. Yeah, I think that's the Timmy Hill paint scheme from the Xfinity last night. So if he was able to make that real quickly, that was impressive. A Jimmy Johnson paint scheme. I think we had 3 of those out tonight. Alexander Gray there in the Jimmy Johnson paint scheme. Very classic paint scheme. We spoke earlier. That's Joey Logano paint scheme. Can't believe we're talking about throwbacks to drivers that I still think of like yesterday. Those types of paint schemes, but yeah, I guess it's a throwback. I guess as soon as the race is over, it's a throwback.
That's right.
But yeah, that's a quick rundown of just some of our drivers out there with some of the paint schemes to mention them. We definitely wanted to be able to, if they didn't make it in the show, we wanted to at least be able to show their efforts of some of their vehicles that they put forth tonight. So if you have a paint scheme that you see out tonight that you really enjoy, let us know in the comments section, because I'm sure some of these drivers would love to be able to see and actually read if someone finds one of their paint schemes to be really enjoyable. I'm sure that might just make their night, even if they don't make the show tonight, just to be able to have us talk about it or have other people mention it about their paint scheme. So here's another run right here. I feel bad for Jeff Green. He was trying to get his paint scheme out, which was going to be his brother's paint scheme when he raced in the truck in the 90s. Hopefully he can get it back on for if he makes it into the main show. But I believe he had that made up, and he's going to be a little disappointed it's not showing right now.
This is our closest battle on the track right now. You know, you're not really missing much else with everybody else. It's really for fourth. And it's really interesting to see the different lines that these guys take, the different approaches they take, you know, in and out of the corner. You know, I saw it a couple laps ago, and I took a note of it that, you know, Jeff Green, he was going a little deep into the corners and, you know, kind of, you know, getting not the best run off, while Josh Hodges right behind him was backing off the entry of the corner, riding a little bit high as well on that entry, and then kind of pushing it back down there to the bottom to get a good run and get back to the gas sooner to straighten out the exit. So it's really interesting to see these guys, different dynamics and the different types of lines that they want to use tonight.
Here we come back around. He'll be taking the white flag, Jesse Rasmussen, the 70 truck there. Taking the white flag here. He is led coast to coast. He is taken off from the rest of the field. He is about 4 seconds above that cutoff spot there in fourth place. So he has got himself in a healthy lead over them. Again, it's not for any starting position or any kind of track position, because they still have to go into the other lobby to qualify. But definitely, it's just good to show that you have the speed tonight. And definitely another driver that we're going to have to keep an eye on here, Harrison. As here he comes to take the checker flag and lock himself in to the race tonight.
Great effort all around. Top three rookies. They ended up being that way, and 6 of our drivers that have made it in through the heat, all 6 are rookies, and that's a good sign. The competition in this series has definitely increased. So it's going to be one fun night.
Yeah, I might end up finding myself on the wrong end of that spectrum there of rookies pushing myself out of racing. So eventually they may end up beating me and not qualifying me into these races. But right now, this is going to be our lineup here for the B main. Once again, only 3 drivers from this list of that you see right here will make it in, and the rest will be going home. That's got to hurt, Harrison.
I did just hear in the driver chat there may be as many as 5, but we do not know yet because some of the qualifying is still going on.
3 guaranteed. Yes. And I don't deal with what ifs, so 3 guaranteed, but a possible of 5 then.
But the drivers do now know that, so they will be driving for all the way to 5th.
They'll probably be trying to drive for the guaranteed spot if they have a choice. But if you're in 5th, at least you have hope. But I think you would rather have the guarantee over hope, David.
Oh yeah.
Man, yeah, there's even more drivers. Oh, boy. So there will be a lot of drivers trying to get in, as I believe Chad's not going to be in that heat race. But there's a good amount of drivers still having to do this race, and it will only be 10 laps. So yeah, they're going over the rule right now. Yeah, top 3 locked in, possibly more. So if you finish outside the top 3, staying in the lobby, you might get called up to do the main race. So again, dealing with what ifs, we know the top 3, and that's what we'll focus on here for this race, as Jeff Green and Rasmus will be in the front road here to go about starting this, and it will only be 10 laps. This is a very short race for as many drivers that are in this field right now. There is a lot of drivers that have a chance of going home here tonight, and I can tell you right now, no one wants to be one of those drivers that goes home.
Absolutely not. They worked way too hard to get here, and they got one more shot at it.
Oh, here we go. Green flag is out here. Jeff Green was not the person to start on pole, but definitely had the best shot out of anybody coming out of onto that restart, trying to get himself down. Oh, he's got to be careful. The 47 is underneath him. Does not want to come down into him, but the 47 also does not want to have a freight train to his high side there going around him, as Jeff Green now finds himself in the second position. 47 is battling for that last transfer spot in third, as we have a big wreck in the back. Caution, I don't know why caution's not out when there's cars completely around and destroyed in the back of the field there, as the 22 it will be out of the race, as well as a couple other ones. 66 as well. Some hard contact there.
Oh, start up ahead. Seems like.
Yeah, 4 drivers involved, because in front of there, 81 was involved. I have no idea why there was no caution. That was a huge hit. 4 drivers out just like that on the start. So 8 laps down, or 2 laps down, 8 laps to remain, as looks like the 07 has found himself around the 47 there. 47 get a little bit loose now, battle for 4th position there, as you see the 34 trying to work himself around. That's York there, and Jimmy Johnson paint scheme trying to get around the Tony Stewart paint scheme. They make a little contact back there as well. So
look at the run Jeff Green got off of turn 4. Wow.
Yeah,
almost.
He did. Oh, like I said, back there for 4th and 5th position, battling really hard back there. 34 is able to get around Sam Batwell. Sam Batwell still having battles of people trying to go to his outside. Now finds himself in that 5th position. Oh, as you see, 2 drivers make contact, and around goes the 25 in the middle of the field. Doesn't look like anyone else that's collected into it. He's going to spin it back around, but he made hard contact into that outside wall. So hard contact for the 25 there. Give it over to David here, so he'll give us a brief idea what happened. And it looked like Richardson just made a little bit of contact with Josh Freed there, and sent him right around into the outside wall. So that might be night over for the 25, as that is a lot of damage. They're going to call it down as a racing deal, so no one will be caught at fault for that. But unfortunately for Freed, the damage is done, and his chances are looking very slim on making it.
I've got a reset here. It's going to be a late race restart for what we know, at least 3 positions. Could be up to 5, but we'll find out in a little bit. Those guys will be on standby if they finish 4th and 5th, obviously, as we mentioned earlier. But yeah, really late race restart. Everybody's going to be going hard here. You know, York, Boutwell, they don't want to stick in 4th and 5th. You know, they don't want to stay there and, you know, hope that someone doesn't make the race in the other lobby or doesn't, you know, end up showing up. They want to get up to that top 3 to ensure themselves a spot into this race.
I think right now the battle is going to be right there on the 34 and the 07. Both of those drivers work their way up through the field and now find themselves 3rd and 4th. That's Hodges and York there. I think the battle is really going to come down between those 2, because again, there's a speculation of 5 drivers that might make it in, but the top 3 is known to make it in. And so I think we're going to see some good battling right there as well. Will there be contact? That's something we're going to have to take a look at. But with the caution laps counting it down, there is not going to be very many laps for them to decide it. I believe we're going to be going green this time by, and that will set it up for a 3-lap run before the end of this B main race.
Yeah, you mentioned contact right there. I think we're going to see some contact. I think we're going to see some bumpers being banged here to you know, shove or move some people out of the way to gain some positions. So this is going to be fun.
We do now know that the top 4 will advance and 1 alternate.
Well, top 4 now are guaranteed, so definitely keep an eye on there, as Richardson and the 06 and Sam Batwell will try to see if they can find their way back up into battling. Sam Batwell lost a couple on that last start. Hopes to have a little better run here to see if he can get that Tony Stewart throwback paint scheme up in the mix and see if he can race his way in, as we will be coming around turn 4. Pace truck is off, and the trucks will be going green back here once again. And Jeff Green had a good start, but right behind him, the 34 of York had a really good start as well. So battling both in the front position and the second row there. As coming out of turn 2, they are still side by side.
Oh my goodness, they're 2x2 to the front. Bad little bit there for Rasmus. Jeff Green's going to clear for the lead. York to the outside, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is not what the one wanted. He went from leading the race to now being in third with a driver to his outside, trying to relegate him back into fourth.
No.
Oh, and a little bit of contact and a spin. Oh, the 06 and the 47 involved. As looks like the one slowed down a little bit, and the 06 dove it in a little bit harder. Now the 06 will have a ton of damage, and that pushed Sam Batwell back there as well.
Oh.
Yeah, the one checked up, the 06 checked up, and then the 47, Batwell got into the back of the 06, sent him around in the outside wall.
And the 47's popped his engine, smoke coming out. Sam Batwell will be done, and unfortunately will not race his way in. Unfortunately for that Tony Stewart paint scheme, that was one of my favorites going into the night, and sad to see that truck not make it in for sure. As he was definitely in position there, but night over for the 47. 06 probably is going to have his night over as well, as now it's a new cast of characters trying to find their way in. Gene Rasmus went from leading the race to being in fourth now on the cutoff zone. Not the restart he wanted. The 47 will be tallied as the issue there. So he's out of the race. It won't really matter too much for him. And I told you to keep an eye on York there. He went from fourth to first on that restart. Drove around all the drivers there on the outside. Found himself up there. So now Robert Hill Jr. will be in fifth. The Canadian driver will try to see if he can get himself up there. And Scott Haney trying to get himself being the underdog, trying to get himself from the back of the pack to the front. Has a little bit of damage, it looks like, to the inside of his truck. So see if he can be able to take that truck to a strong finish here.
Yeah, these new opportunities for the guys in the back at the from that green flag run that we had at the beginning of this heat, or this B main right here. Some of these guys right here they were just hanging out in the back, didn't really have any form of track position at the start of the race to be up front or stay up front for that matter. But now it's shuffled around a whole lot, and I'm really, really nervous for Jaden Rasmus, because if he gets one more restart like that, it's
all over for him.
It's really over.
He can't have a restart like that if he wants to make tonight's show. So these heat races, I don't know if it really changed up the cast of characters that we would see in the main race, but I gotta tell you, I'm enjoying it just because it's adding that little bit more excitement. It makes making this final show even that more notable, to just be able to get yourself into the show. So definitely a lot of people watching here tonight. This is the heat race. The main event will be right after this. So do tune in for tonight's race. As you see the cast of characters here, you might want to keep an eye on them. Some of the drivers that make it through these heat races have a little bit of knowledge of how to get through these wrecks and know how the track's going to handle. We'll see them have a little bit of advantage in the main race, so keep an eye on, see how they do for tonight's Smokin Gobbler Truck Series 150 at Phoenix. But here we will be going back to green. We'll have a green-white checkered as the pace truck will be heading off down pit road. And we'll leave it back to York in the 34 and Jeff Green to his outside to lead it off for this restart. And the green flag is out. Good job from Jeff Green once again to have that outside lane. Oh, Rasmus does a lot better job onto the outside as long as he can keep it underneath him coming out of the turn. Ooh, a little loose, but he is able to get himself into third and now battling for second. So now the transfer spot will be there in fourth as you see the 05 of Hill trying to see if he can find himself around the 07 of Joshua Hodge in that Kurt Busch paint scheme.
It's big. One lap. Robert Hill, he's got one lap to do it. He's about a car length right behind the 07. He's loose into the corner. I don't know what happened there. He broke loose, but he gathered it right back up. Lost so much momentum. An extra car length or two was in between those two trucks. As Hodges is going to battle York for that third spot.
Yeah, unfortunately, that little bit of looseness there caused just enough gap to keep himself out of that position. But, oh, contact! Oh, 2 cars in front of him make contact, but they're able to keep going. The 07 almost spun it around, but is able to finish across the finish line. Those will be our 4 drivers, and now Robert Hill Jr. will only have to hope for a driver to bow out of a position to get himself into tonight's race. But that will be our 4 drivers, so we'll make it into the tonight's show, and we will go to a brief break as we will transfer ourselves over into the main lobby and be able to get you green flag action there. So do stay tuned. It's only going to be a short time as we go to a break to be able to get ourselves readied up for tonight's 150 race. I can't wait for it. I hope you stay tuned to watch a wonderful night showing, and we'll see you here back in about, what do you say, David, about 10 minutes?
Well, I can't start until you shut up. So whenever you shut up, we'll start. But 5 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. We're shutting up now.
Okay.
Perfect.
good. And we're back here live at Phoenix, the Smokin Gobbler Truck Series, third race of the season. We just watched the qualifying heat races conclude, and we saw a group of drivers make their way into tonight's race, and we saw some drivers that didn't. And unfortunately for those drivers, they will have to also watch this race alongside anyone else that was showing up for tonight's race. But other than that, it's going to be the same cast of characters here as you saw in the heat race. It's myself, Gerald Campbell, and co-commentator there is Harrison Taillon, David Huckleberry, bringing you these wonderful views once again from Phoenix. And this is the third race of the regular season. Still pretty early on. Still to be able to see who's going to be the front runner, who's going to be the favorite, and just maybe find a driver that we haven't mentioned before that finds a way to be able to get himself up near the front of this field to try to see if they can get themselves in a good position at the end of the regular season. This is going to be. I thought you had the point standing up there.
I did.
Yep, there we go. You did. There is the point standings as they stand right now. It looks like I think that is our second place driver from last week, Trey
Edson, yes.
Edson. I said it right. I did it. Yes. Edson had a wonderful race last week, showing to be very strong. Unfortunately, lost out to R.C. Anderson, who showed up for that race and overall came out the victor. I believe he is here for tonight's race as well, so we'll see if those two go to battle once again. But right there is your top 18 drivers. I believe it's only the top 14 that making in on points, so still a lot of time to discuss about points later on in the regular season. Qualifying is going underway as we speak to set the field for tonight's race.
There's your top rookies too, if you want to take a quick look at those.
And our top rookies, yes. Thank you. Yep. As we stated in the heat race, there's a ton of rookies with a lot of promise. As all of the ones to make it in through the heat races, all 6 of them were rookies. So rookies are going to be ones to watch for this whole season as we get a ton of new talent starting to come into the Elite Series. All starts here in the Truck Series and goes forward. So right now, as qualifying is almost completed here, I'll give it over to Dave to give our sponsor shout-outs for the start of this race.
Okay, I'll start with our premier sponsors. Tonight we have TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing, and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you. Our second is Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. For small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan, and we help businesses punch above their weight class. And finally, Breezy Cam. Breezy is a venture-backed tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They are on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if the users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Breezy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks across the 4 continents. Those are our premier sponsors.
Well, we appreciate that, David. No race sponsor here tonight, but we always like to thank Smokin Gobbler, our Truck Series series sponsor, as they tuned in again once for these Truck Series. They saw what these trucks provide, and that is just very good racing. As this will be the tonight's format, it will be 150 laps. The stages, which will have stage cautions at the end of them, will be on lap 45 and on lap 90. There will be 5 sets of tires for these drivers as well. So, I believe qualifying has just wrapped up. And if you didn't know, tonight is a throwback paint scheme race. So, I'm going to give it over to Dave as he starts filtering through this field and showing you these drivers as he gives you the rundown. We have some beautiful paint schemes here tonight. And just another thing to look forward to tonight's racing.
Well, thanks to iRacing, I won't be able to do that yet until we get rid of this this heat. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure why there's we just did heats, but
they'll all advance, and they warned them not to cause a caution. They just have to run it out.
Okay, well, this is just
this for show.
Parade lap. Yeah, this is the parade lap of the drivers that were in the back of the field.
The Robert Hill did get in, so we got 5 in from that last B main. So 5th place did get moved over.
We have Tyler Dixon in the waiting room. I'm not sure if we want to pull him up maybe for an interview if he's in there, if he wants to be interviewed real fast while we're in this quick heat.
Let's get him up in here.
Absolutely.
Tyler Dixon, you with us?
Hey, how y'all?
Hey, sir. So we got a throwback scheme race here tonight. What throwback did you bring to tonight's race?
Hey, I brought a Jurassic Park scheme. I hope it's showing up okay.
Well, we're not able to see it just yet, but we'll definitely take a look at it tonight. Throwback to Jurassic Park. Is it the good series? Is it one of the earlier ones?
Oh, it's an OG. It's not
okay.
It's not the new stuff.
Good. Yeah, I like the old stuff. My preference back where you could actually see the dinosaurs and everything. So yeah, absolutely, that's great to hear. So real quickly, you're you sponsor things and such as tonight. Can you give us a rundown of what the sponsor is for the Smokin Gobbler Truck Series?
Yeah, for sure. It's a barbecue company that I created recently after my dad had passed away. Me and my father had always talked about starting our own barbecue company, food truck kind of deal. And with his passing, I decided that it was time to get the ball going on that. So it's just started really just local catering and just friends and family and stuff, and it's really taken off here lately. Competition, barbecue tournaments, stuff like that. So it's a growing brand, and hopefully continue to grow down the road.
Absolutely, I'm still waiting for some more samples for some of those spices when you start coming out to sell those. So definitely something that we'll keep an eye on whenever you do produce them. But overall, I think out of any of the Elite Series to sponsor, I would have to believe the Truck Series has been one of the most exciting, and we definitely appreciate you sponsoring the Truck Series here. Overall, what do you expect out of this Truck Series, not only as a driver, but a sponsor and a promoter for your own brand with this Truck Series?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious we have a pretty large reach when we're bringing in 80 entries a season. So it's an eye-opening thing to get your name out and be able to reach all kinds of people. So just happy to be here and happy to support this growing league, and look forward to see what's down the road.
Well, absolutely. Well, we'll let you go here as we're going to give tonight's running order. Good luck to you tonight, Tyler, and hopefully we'll be able to get some good, clean shots of your paint scheme.
Well, let's hope so.
Alrighty, that's Tyler Dixon there. We're going to give it over to David here as he gives you a rundown and a in-eye view of some of our Truck Series drivers here tonight in their paint schemes.
Well, it's kind of hard to see them right now, so we'll try to get them during the race. But I'll give you the rundown of the grid right now. R.C. Anderson, Ethan Burrell, Kwame Scott, Shane Therian, Chad Frankenfield, Jake Roll, Scott Crump, Latham Joyner, Corey Abbott, and Jesse Rasmus round out the top 10. Chad Thurnquist in 11th, Leighton Norgard in 12th. Thomas Sherman, Dustin Durer, Jake Finch, Sean Ryan, Trey Holmes, Brent Jones, Matthew Weeks, Tom Bourne, Tynan Jones, Trevor Elam, Nathan Mon, Michael Hosack, Cole Mickrut, Brad Herman, Michael York, Ethan Stanley, Jeff No, Tyler Dixon, who we just heard from, Mark Murphy, Cody McCorkle, Kendall Noah Player, Michael Goodman, Andrew Hardcastle, Jaden Rasmus. And the last ones are Cole Snyder, Daniel Martinez, Jeff Green, Josh Hodges, Alex Van Desant, Robert Hill, and Cash James. Now that they're on the track, we can kind of start running through some of them if you'd like.
Well, I believe we're going to be going green flag this time, right? So And we'll just have to be able to hopefully see some of these drivers while they still have a clean vehicle.
We'll probably have some cautions.
Probably have one or two cautions here, as this is quite a difficult track here. But the pace truck will be going down here shortly, and we'll be going back to green. This is the throwback race, so their green flag will be on this long straightaway out of turn 4 here. Well, it's a blast from the past, and we're about to go racing here, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. We're green flag and underway, and R.C. Anderson takes out to an early lead. And here we go back to throwback racing here at Phoenix. R.C. Anderson out to a decent run there in front of Ethan Burrell there. Kind of like a repeat of what we saw at the last race when we were at the 1.5 mile there. Ethan Burrell and R.C. Anderson, both top 3 drivers in that race, now find themselves out front once again. R.C. Anderson just came from winning an F1 race over in Spa, now to Phoenix here to lead us back going to on the pole. I kind of had him as one of the favorites, as it doesn't matter if it's a road course at a European track or just a very old racetrack here at Phoenix in a truck. He just has speed no matter where he goes. As we have a caution. It looks like the 70 of Jesse Rasmus, one of our winners in the heat races, had a good qualifying start and now finds himself with a ton of damage on his truck.
Yeah, it looks like the O2 gets into him and pushes him to the outside. The 21 with a little bit of contact on the O2. Looks like those are the 3 involved. Oh, now
more contact. The 88
Trey
there
Holmes.
and the 12
88.
also made. Yeah, it looks like the 02 of, I think that's Chad Thornquist, may have came up into the 70. I believe they're going to give fault to the 02 there, as his contact ended up causing a few drivers to go around. Let's go back and see if we can look at the 02. I think he might have came back up the racetrack a little bit as well.
Unfortunate. That took out a lot of cars. Dewar there in the grass.
Yeah,
Chad
I think
Thornquist
he might have came back up the racetrack once he made contact. No, he did stay down, but Dustin Durr did get involved with him. That's what I saw there. So Dustin Durr, unfortunately, did make some hard contact with Chad Thornquist as well. So Dustin Durr has I believe, a throwback to, is that Smokin the Bandit? Yeah, he has a Smokin the Bandit paint scheme on, so very cool paint scheme. Unfortunately, it's going to have some front-end damage to the front of it, so unfortunately there for Dustin Durr, as he will have to fix some damage here before we get going here again.
Front-end damage, especially early, but at this racetrack, it hurts so much. The arrow on these trucks is so important on the corners that you lose a ton of downforce if you flare up any fenders or anything like that on like the right front or the left front, for example. It really causes a lot of understeer, a lot of tightness as you go through those corners. So they're going to have to be extra careful of their tires now, because all the understeer is going to wear out their tires a lot quicker than what they would have if they had a clean truck.
Pace car has already got them double back up once again here. If you're wondering why some cars are marked in yellow and some are marked in white, the yellow paint schemed numbers on the sideboard there are drivers that are rookies, and those are important because we do have a rookie class that we keep track of and a rookie winner. But that gives you a brief idea of who are rookie drivers here tonight, and quite a few of them here, and a few of them also in the top 10. 4 of them, in fact, as Kwame Scott is going to be the highest running one in 3rd position, but looks like we're going to be going back green here as the pace truck looks to be going down pit road once again, as you get some really good shots of some throwback paint schemes out tonight. Pace car is off, and back green. Looks like R.C. Anderson decided to take the high side here. Gets out to a very good run once again. He did just the same there when he won last week, as he gets out to another decent start in front of Ethan Burrell there.
Teammates, yep, right on the front row. RC, brand new to Pro Edge this year. I think we've mentioned that a few times on a lot of these broadcasts. That's the owner of Pro Edge right there in 2nd place. Ethan Burrell, full-time in trucks this season. Other obligations outside of, sim racing took him away from competing full-time in Xfinity or Cup, as you would mostly see him. So, but this season, full-time truck driver, he's looking to win a championship right here.
Absolutely. Good battling starting to shape up there around the 7th and 8th position back there. A couple of drivers cutting each other off a little bit, but still going there. As you see a battle there is the 23 of Sherman trying to go around the 03 of Joyner there. Multiple grooves, that's what you're going to expect for this Phoenix in the hot day. They're slipping and sliding, which allows drivers to maybe find a different line. It's not a single groove racetrack. Once these tires start to shape up more, the more they're going to move around.
Caution.
Caution is back out. Looks like there is a wreck in the back.
Seemed like a big one by the way the timing monitor was going. Oh, yes.
Ooh, yes, 07 there. Kurt Busch paint scheme, one of our drivers that made in through the heat races there. Yeah, that was Josh Hodges. Oh, is that Jeff Green that got hooked?
Yeah, Martinez got into the back of him.
Yeah, got hooked and sent him around. 39, Cole McCroll. He started up front, didn't he? He's now got some heavy damage. Oh!
Wow.
07 came in hard into that wreck.
I wonder if he got contact into that.
You see here, it looks like Daniel Martinez was just trying to give him a shove, but came at a glancing angle and sent Jeff Green into the wall, and then the stack-up just happened behind him. Dustin Durr once again involved in another hard hit, even more front-end damage. No, he just locked it up and spun himself around. Josh Hodges did, and that's going to cause probably his night to be over with.
I will blame the oil on the track for that.
Oof. Yeah, that's
hard hit. Terrible. Oh, man. Awful ending to a ton of these guys' days early. A lot of them came from the heats, especially Josh Hodges there and Jeff Green as well. So it's frustrating. It definitely seems to be frustrating for these drivers that they're getting caught up early in these wrecks. And some drivers are, they don't have anywhere to go. But other, it is only lap 10 of a 150 lap race. So,
yeah, hopefully
a little give and take goes a long way in these races.
Yeah, hopefully they can get them straightened up here and get them a little bit cleaner as we go through some of the field here. Let's just start going through and seeing if we can recognize any of these throwback paint schemes. I don't believe I know any of that just yet. I don't think we've reached one. I think Chad Frankenfield has one, but we talk enough about Chad Frankenfield. I'm okay skipping him. Scott Crump in his normal paint scheme.
Throwback to last week.
Yep, throwback to last week. Jimmy Johnson paint scheme. I think we have a couple of those here tonight. Thomas Sherman and his. I don't think that's a paint. Not many of the drivers in the top 10 as the back half of the field has the majority of the throwbacks. That's not a paint scheme, throwback paint scheme, but that's a beautiful paint scheme there. Of no guard. Sean Ryan there. Don't believe that's one either. Jake Finch.
So we're going to have our choose roll here. Come to the one to go this time as we take a look at more paint schemes.
Well, so far we haven't reached one that's been a throwback.
A throwback to the color black.
Yep.
We'll get there.
Oh, well, that's a
sponsor I recognize.
There we go.
Brent
that's
yeah.
Jones. That's Brent.
Go, Brent Jones, first one.
Knupp, K-N. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'm bad with names.
You better jump back up front. We're gonna ready to start here.
They're lining back up. It looks like we'll go through the field again to see more of these paint jobs as we go through the rest of the race. We'll have some heat rate or some cautions at the end of these stages to allow us to see more of these paint schemes before the end of the night. So it looks like R.C. Anderson has decided to take the outside once again here, as Ethan Burrell will be back underneath him as the field hopes to go green here. Our stage end is at 45, so we're still quite a ways before the end of this stage for these drivers to try to battle it out and again, we're going to see more grooves starting to form once the tires are worn out. We just haven't had a long enough run to wear these tires out just yet.
You'd be looking around lap 20 to 25 for tires to start to wear out here as we go back racing.
Back
What a
on
good
the green
restart.
once again. Yeah, R.C. Anderson had a
I'm
fantastic.
hearing a crash in the back.
Oh, crash in the back. Yes, caution is not out, but I believe 4 or 5 drivers have wrecked near the back of the field. I think back there and around 22nd position on back, there was a couple drivers that were involved.
Concerned. Yes, the caution is out.
Caution is out now.
Yes, it threw it on its own, but I was really concerned about that. The 34 being backwards or going to be stuck there by the time the leaders got by, or it wasn't going to be that quick getting back going. So,
yeah, look at that stack up starting to form there on the outside lane. There's that's about to be chaos. I can give. Oh yeah, definitely chaos.
Oh my goodness! It seems like it might have started up to the front where I'm not. So you can see the 62. He moves.
Yeah, the
out of the way to miss
29.
him on
The 29
bottom.
maybe up there.
The orange
Look up at
truck in front
Trevor.
of the 29.
Yeah, I think it's right here where the checkup with the 89. And then Trevor Elam gets into the back of the 85. 85 into the back of 76, then a 29, and then it just starts stacking up behind it.
Yeah, you see them starting to spin out and hit the wall back there. And a few of them were some of those paint schemes that we were hoping to mention while they were clean. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it will be. As you see, unfortunately, they're 86 in a Keselowski paint scheme, 34, and a Jimmy Johnson paint scheme hit the wall hard a few times. He was one of our drivers that also qualified himself in, but he's facing backwards on the field right there, and that was a ton of damage for his truck. Well, if we want to, we can start back from about mid-pack again and try to see if we can get some of these paint schemes in.
Go back to, we started like 1628. Okay, we're kind of right in there.
Yeah, let's see if we can get some of these in before Phoenix decides to tear them up. There we go, 48 back there. That was one. That was Bojangles there. That was for
Cole Snyder.
Yeah, that's Cole Snyder there in his Derek Cope paint scheme. And the Bojangles. None of them. Kendall Noah player not really having a paint scheme. That's odd for him. Joyner back there now. Might have pitted. You see a few drivers. There's a Jeff Gordon paint scheme in the 24. 30 Sundrop paint scheme. I know that's from somewhere, but I can't mention where.
Isn't that a Dale Earnhart throwback? Yeah, and then he's also going to run it soon?
You are correct. So that's future and throwback to Dale Earnhardt's late model days, I guess. We've seen Lathan Joyner there. That's not Corey Abbott. I don't believe he's in one tonight. There we go. 55. I believe I have him down here. 55 is Kenny Irwin paint scheme. An old Kenny Irwin paint scheme. So that's a good one there. That's a Brett Keselowski paint scheme from a couple years ago. 44, Michael Goodman. I believe I have him down as well. That is... yes, that's Travis Quapple paint scheme there. So, throwback to Travis Quapple of all drivers. Hardcastle there. Unfortunately, there's the 70. Qualified in the top 10. One of our fastest drivers making it in. Jeff Green back then at 38. He's not in any paint scheme yet. So Hardcastle was the one tallied at fault there for that checkup on that restart. But well, we're about to go green here once again. We'll go back up to the front of the field. Again, if we can see some more drivers back there before they get crunched up, we'll definitely try to do that. This time around, it looks like R.C. Anderson deciding to take the inside lane with new driver in second, new battle partner to go for this restart, as Kwame Scott will be in the outside lane in the 99. Green flag is back out. The result is the same. R.C. Anderson clears himself by a few truck lengths going into turn 1. And now battle for second. Looks like Kwame Scott will have the outside lane, and it looks like it might be the preferred lane as he has the run down the back straightaway.
Yeah, we were seeing it in the heat. We're seeing it right now in the main race. That outside on these restarts, you carry a lot more momentum off of each corner to, propel yourself forward, and it really helps at speeds that you start really slow, especially acceleration. So off these restarts, that outside seems to be really the lane you want to be in. So that's why you see RC keep picking it each time that there has been a restart.
Battle there is now, it looks like Ethan Burrell is starting to back up through the field as the 63 there of Jake Roll there trying to get himself and does clear himself for that third position. Now it looks like Crump is going to try to see if he can be the next one to battle with Ethan Burrell there. Battle there for sixth position. Chad Frankenfield is to the outside there. Shane Therian. Shane Therian is going to lose touch with him down the back straightaway. Yes, and Chad Frankenfield will clear himself for that sixth position. So now, seventh place will be Shane Therian, and to his back bumper is Sean Ryan in the 9 truck. Good battle.
Incident off Jesse Rasmus. Didn't throw the caution for it, but let's see what happens to him.
Oh, Jeff Green
Jeff
tapped
Green.
the wall, came back down. The 70 truck had a perfect race in the heat race and has had everything go wrong for him in this main feature. So much promise and speed, qualified in the top 10 for the main race, and now will find himself, I believe, out of the race with a ton, if not out of the race, at least with a ton of damage on his truck now. So, unfortunately for the 70 truck, he looks to maybe make it back up for the following race. Well, we're down to only 32 trucks on the lead lap. We started with 43, Harrison, now down to 32 on the lead lap as we have a slew of drivers one lap down.
Kwame Scott has been running down RC Enerson this entire run, and he is right there pounding that 50 truck. We're coming up here close to 20 laps to go in the stage. Only if we make a couple more trips around the track, then we'll get to that 20 lap mark until the stage ends. And this 99, he's really fast. Kwame Scott raced with him a ton before in different series, and he's a force. He's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So he may be a rookie in the elite racing league, but he's not a rookie to do any of this sim racing business. He knows how to get it done. He knows where to place his car or truck for this instance in any position that could make it go fast.
Speaking of drivers in place anywhere, RC Anderson, we saw last week, had a much slower vehicle than the driver behind him and held him off for nearly 20 laps with older tires. If there's anyone that could battle with Kwame Scott, it's going to be RC Anderson being able to keep a driver behind him. Right now, Anderson is just being just cool, calm, and collective going around there. Doesn't even look like he's pushing it. And right now, leading the field here. But 63 also starting to work his way up there to try to see if he can make it a three-way battle for the lead here very shortly.
Yeah, just looking at those times there next to the names on the timing screen right there. Those are their fastest laps of the race. And incredible, they're running 4s. Those are the only 3 drivers, the top 3, who have ran laps in the 28 4s. Everybody else they've been close to a 10th off on their fastest lap, and that will basically kind of relate to the course of a run. In some cases, some cases you might even out on lap times versus a driver behind you, but these guys are checking out right now, and they're making it a 3-horse race. Ethan Burrell can't really do much. He's 2 seconds back already.
There's always 2 ways to go about it. Maybe some of these drivers are opting to save some tire, but it's not too much longer before the end of this stage as they are clicking them off now here at a fast pace. Again, RC Anderson just playing it cool right in front of Kwame Scott, but we do have some battling there, but it's all been outside the top 10. Top 10 have all kind of single filed out, but we do have now, looks like Scott Crump has started to catch up to the back of Ethan Burrell. and actually lost it a little bit coming out of turn 2. Got a little tight, slid up the racetrack. Good onboard shot of Scott Crump. Scott Crump looks like to be one of the drivers throwing it in a little harder than the rest. Last time he bit him just a little bit. See if he can be able to gain on him going here into turn 1. You see the difference of how two different drivers decide to take the entry. Scott Crump a lot harder, but to the bottom, gains it, loses it coming out, as Ethan Burrell has a higher line. And watch the run he gets down the back straightaway, just is able to leave him in the dust going down the back straightaway. So good battling all around, as you see our leaders actually starting to catch up on some lap traffic here, as it is getting really tight up there in the front.
Yeah, I mean, it's a learning stage at this point of the race, as they're passing Jesse Rasmus, our flawless heat driver earlier this night, and unfortunately hasn't gone his way so far in this race. But and Snyder there as well, our Heat 1 winner.
Derrico coming in hot. He's way off the paces. They got him at an extreme pace there. I didn't even see him until they were about halfway past him at that point. But yeah, absolutely. We see there's our leaders starting to now work on some of the field that have tremendous amount of damage. Jesse Rasmus and the 71 of them. That Bojangle car there, also another one involved. Snyder now goes down. Both of those drivers go down 2 laps, as here they come. Not only is R.C. Anderson having to keep a faster Kwame Scott behind him, but also having to move around to be able to get efficiently past all these lap traffic that he sees in front of him.
It's a tricky situation, because you obviously don't want to put yourself in a vulnerable position to the guy behind you that you're battling position with by passing a lap car in a precarious spot. So you really do have to pick and choose your moments wisely, and you really do have to hope that you catch those lap cars in a really good spot for yourself. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and you've seen that time and time again on either in real life or in sim racing. That sometimes the cards fall your way, sometimes they don't. It's going to fall RC's way, passing Dan right there. And
that was 33 going a lap down. That was Martinez and Jack Sprague scheme going a lap down there. So he's catching up onto another car as well.
So I was a little surprised to see the 33 that far off pace. I'm not sure if he got that much major damage.
Yeah, he was involved in earlier damage. He got back, I believe, with Jeff Green, and also to another driver earlier as well, as they're still battling back here.
Oh no, RC in the wall.
RC pushing a little bit too far. He was starting to gain some distance between him and the drivers behind him. Taps the wall, but it doesn't look like it slowed him down. If anything, he's actually sped up. Passing Jeff Green there in 38 now puts him down a lap. He's actually starting to put himself a couple truck lengths lead over Kwame Scott. So I think he's done a perfect, wonderful job of just saving his tires. Even though he may have hit the wall there, he is still running some incredible speed here as he comes up onto, I believe that's the Sundrop paint scheme? Yes, the Sundrop paint scheme. Down our senior and junior paint scheme as he puts him lap down. So now RC Anderson only has about 9 laps left before the end of this stage. Some of these drivers will be thankful to be able to end it and put some tires on. Some of them will have this as a learning experience. Even those ones that did the heat races never really got to experience more than a 15-lap run. So this is a much longer run for them than what they experienced in their heat race. So they are experiencing the unknown just like the rest of the field. As you see here, Kwame Scott just in front of the 63 as they are still battling for that second position.
RC's starting to put just smallest bit of gaps in between him and Kwame Scott. It's up to about a half second, 6/10 now as they enter turn 1. It seems that Kwame doesn't enter the corner as hard as RC does, but does kind of maintain with him, or get it basically almost all back, if not about half of that gap that he lost, entering the corner back through the center and off exit. So, you know, it's tough. It's obviously the tires that are coming into play right now, and you know how they saved them. And also, I believe, you know, I think being behind that dirty air and the turbulent air of that 50 truck for so long and being so up close to him as well throughout most of this run, it has hurt the front end tires on that 99.
Well, we only have about 6 laps left to go in this stage. And it's been all RC Anderson out front. That's kind of what we saw in the Formula One race earlier today. Has been RC Anderson all out front. Well, he came and he showed that he is going to show the same dominance here, leading it from coast to coast as so far. But good battling back there for the 8th position. I think it's just some drivers trying to get around lap traffic. And I just saw almost 3 wire a second ago. But it looks like the 9 truck there, Sean Ryan, just in front of Thomas Sherman, trying to work his way up, as well as Matthew Weeks. Matthew Weeks shown to be one of the highest gainers tonight, up from 19th, going for the 9th position here. Again, the top 10 in points get top 10 in finishing here in the stage get points. So it is worth your while if you can to get into the top 10. As you see Ethan Stanley there also trying to see if he can gain a position. Almost looked to the inside of the 16 of Tom Bourne. Unfortunately, not able to. Ethan Stanley, one of our Final Four makers of last season, trying to see if he can get a good run, but he's already got some front-end damage to his truck to start tonight's race.
Good. Oh, there's a lap truck right there on the. I thought that was a battle right there with the 16 and the 30, but I forgot it. I realized that the sun drop truck is a lap down already. It's a battle between the 16 and the 91 right here. You know, these gotta. I don't know. I think they're really just trying to get to the end of the stage, to be honest with you.
We also got a battle here for 6th.
Oh wow! Yes.
Yeah.
Look at that battle.
And the 61 there of Shane Therian. We saw them battling earlier in the race. Chad Frankenfield able to get around on the outside pass. Now Shane Therian working his way back to him. Now looking to the outside of Chad Frankenfield, see if he's able to get the run. As here they'll come to 1 lap to go for the end of this stage. So this is points awarded here. So this will be a battle. 1 point on the line between both of these drivers trying to get it over the other. Chad Frankenfield not really running for points as he is a previous champion, but definitely trying to play spoiler. St. Therian will have a run down the back straightaway, as I believe R.C. Anderson's already coming close to the front straightaway. We'll be taking the checker flag to end the stage first. Caution will be out as R.C. Anderson passes the line, and it looks like Chad Frankenfield will overcome the 61 for that 6th position there. So this will be our top 10 finishers for the end of stage, and
looks
points
like
are awarded.
I think the yellow came out before the stage ended. I think we have Trevor Elam in it.
Oh yeah, Trevor Elam. Loose, sideways to sideways. Wow, the sun drop truck missed that one. As 29 comes back down in front of the field. Ooh, I hope no one's coming. Oh, you see a couple drivers making some really good evasive maneuvers. Trevor Elam became very lucky there that he was not collected in a head-on collision with someone. So luckily for him, he's going to be able to keep on going. But yes, that will be the end of the stage. So the top 10, as you saw right there, will be our finishers for tonight's our top 10 finishers for that stage race there.
Coming down for pit stops. You know, pit road's huge here. You know, pit crew, they get paid a lot of money on this pit road here, even if it's virtual. And you know, sometimes you get some good stops, sometimes you get some bad stops. RC's got the best pit stall of them all. He's gonna obviously get out first. Good battle for second.
Whoa.
63. Did he get out ahead of Kwame Scott?
I don't know. That was close. That was decided by inches. Kwame Scott may have gotten him at the line there, but only iRacing will let us know. 63 definitely came out of his pit stall with a lot more momentum than the 99. It looks like maybe the 63 did get him across
Wow.
the line there. So that was a good pit stop by Jake Roll there, and he will now try to see if he can be able to battle with RC Anderson, do something that no one's done tonight, both in Formula One and in the Truck Series, and that's go out and pass RC Anderson, which is easier said than done. Wouldn't you say so, David? We're gonna see if we're gonna go ahead and do the sponsor shout outs for tonight, as this will be our stage 1 end. We'll have another 45 laps, and we'll have our second stage at lap 90, but we'll give it over to David here for him to do his sponsor shout outs for tonight's race.
All right, we'll start out with BreezyCam this time. BreezyCam is a venture-based tech company based in Toronto and Boston. They're on a mission to reimagine the group photo experience. Gone are the days of carrying around a tripod or selfie stick. They help their customers and users tell better stories around meaningful moments. They let anyone tap into nearby cameras to capture group memories at iconic places as if users were controlling their own native camera app, except now from a perfectly positioned vantage point. Today you can find Breezy at well-known sports venues and cultural landmarks around 4 continents. That's BreezyCam. Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg Marketing is the marketing department for small businesses. Small businesses, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. They help businesses punch above their weight class. And finally, TA Services. For over 36 years, TA Services has been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering freight brokerage, managed transportation, warehousing and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics services to shippers around the globe. TA Services moves what matters to you. Let the TA Services team make ship happen for you.
Well, we appreciate that, David. Just in time, as it looks like we'll be lining up back up here to go green. It looks like the pace truck will be going off here, so perfect timing as we're about to go green once again. And RC Anderson will lead it here to start the stage 2 run, as they will have about 42 laps to go to the end of the stage. Once again, RC Anderson gets himself out to a couple truck length lead, but now he will have the 63 behind him. So we'll see if the 63 will have the speed to catch and pass RC Anderson. Kwame Scott right behind, trying to keep pace and see if maybe he can have a better long run truck here before the end of this stage.
Got a oh man, some a little loose on the 61 of Shankdarian right there in 6th place. It seemed like coming off of turn 4. Cold tires for all these trucks. Get them up to temperature. It's you're gonna have your hands full for a couple laps. Scott Crump sitting right there in 5th as they pass Trevor Elon right there, laps him. Scott Crump, he was really nowhere at Nashville, nowhere to be found, and finally got him back up here running in the top 5 where he belongs and where he's capable of running every single week. Last time out in Nashville was seemed odd, but it's good to see he got his mojo back tonight at least.
And Scott Crump still trying to get that elusive truck championship. 3rd year running for him, trying to go about getting it here. Good run last season, even better for the first season. So like to see Scott Crump show his dominant ways once again, but running himself in the 5th position is a good start for it. He has Shane Thurian looking right behind him, trying to see if he can gain on Scott Crump on his back bumper, as we have some decent battling here for the 5th position. Once again, RC Anderson starting to set pace and leave the rest of the field. Almost got himself a second over Ethan Burrell in 4th. So starting to do what he does best, which is leave the rest of the field behind and smoke.
RC, good job out here. He's out to a 3/10 lead here to start the 2nd stage. Like you said, doing a really good job with, maintaining these tires under his truck. Keeping really good pace there out front. Clean air definitely helps anywhere, but you got to have a fast truck, and you got to be quick around these tracks in order to keep it. So he's doing a fantastic job so far tonight. I think he has led every single lap. So, I mean, could he lead every single lap tonight? It could happen.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when we get past lap 90, we'll have a 60-lap run where you can take your tires at any time, and I would believe there's going to be a couple cautions to start setting up a little bit of a tire strategy. So we'll have to see how much tires are going to be effective as we get closer. Last week we only had one Ford, and now we have a couple Fords into the night's race. Sherman there in 8th, and Scott there in 3rd. So some Fords have decided to join the field for this series run now, as we got 3 different manufacturers running up in the front. So no iRacing preference here. Toyota, Chevy, Ford, all right there in the top 3.
Need a 4th manufacturer, Gerald. Why don't you say?
Well, if I can get in touch with one, I'll let them. So until
Perfect.
then,
you got one in mind that you like?
Well, Dodge is going electric, so it's kind of like I lost a child here. So it's kind of like that. It's kind of heartbreaking in a sense. It's just not it's not the same Dodge as I remember. They used to be against all that. Now they're gonna join the fray. So I doubt Dodge will have any preference on going to a big gas-powered engine here. So maybe we need to look into a different manufacturer, as that kind of gets rid of the thought that Challenger might be coming back to NASCAR, as that probably will not be the case until NASCAR itself decides to go electric. So until that cold day, and you know what, we will be gas-powered until then.
Jake Roll, keep it good. He's keeping really good speed here with RC at the moment.
With RC. Yeah, he is. He's
right there. He stayed in that about 3/10 gap there, basically the whole entire run so far. We have basically run only 10 laps, but this is a shorter stage, if you want to say, only about a couple laps, just based on when we restarted versus when we do end the stage at lap 90. Or at the end of lap 90. But to be able to keep pace with RC so far in the run is definitely a big tell on how this truck handles, how this truck looks, and how this driver is, handling it around this racetrack.
Now we have 32 cars on the lead lap. Taillon, the first one lap down. Not quite sure how he got a lap down. Maybe a late exit out of pit row, but now he relegates himself to the top of the lead lap, or to the lap down vehicle. But very soon here, they will be catching up on some more lap traffic, as Jaden Rasmus is one of those, and the number 1 that's close to being a lap down, as well as the 68 of Andrew Hardcastle. So these leaders are running some tremendous pace here. Eventually here, they soon will be battling not only amongst themselves, but also lap traffic that hopes to stay on to the lead lap. But right here, you see this is the closest we've seen really anybody get to the back of RC Anderson, as 63 finds himself within 0.3 of a second, as Kwame Scott finds himself now over a second out behind these drivers and starting to lose touch. So the pace is really picking up at the front of the field here.
It is, and the guys behind them, like Ethan Burrell, Scott Crump, like I said in the first stage, it seemed to be like a learning type of stage for them, based on how fast the front 3 were in Enerson, Roll, and Scott. And Ethan Burrell he's keeping all right pace so far in this stage, especially with Kwame Scott. He's only about half a second off of him right now, versus 3 seconds off at the end of the last stage. So taking notes for the drivers behind. Don't count them out just yet towards the end of this race. They're really good race car drivers. They know what they're doing. Once they learn the track more, learn the truck and how it handles on the course of these long runs, they'll definitely be players towards the end of this race.
Absolutely there. So looks like the 29 had a drive-through infraction, so that's why he now finds himself a lap down. As you start seeing the leaders now really heavy traffic there, getting past the 20 and the 07 and the 70. So wow. Yeah, 70 RC Anderson almost made contact coming out. That's just the speed difference between these fast leaders and lap traffic with a ton of damage on their vehicles. So wow, yeah, very lucky that RC Anderson didn't get caught into that. But you see right in front of him coming up on another group of drivers with tremendous amount of speed. His battle is not yet over, as he still has close to around, looks like 30 or 25 laps left to the end of this stage, so still a while before he can find himself the winner of this stage.
The pace that these guys are going at is unbelievable, to be honest with you. These top two they're flying around here. They're catching these guys, all these lap cars at such a high rate of speed. And yes, some of them do have significant damage from earlier wrecks, but some of them as well don't. And, you know, they do seem to have some clean cars that he's passing as well. So it's just incredible the type of pace that these guys are on right now. Oh, no!
There's 4 or 5 trucks involved. The 9 involved back there. I caution out very late, but huge wreck back there. As looks like the 70 whipped back in front of the field, and just absolutely took out some drivers.
Oh, what happened to Jesse Rasmus?
I don't know, but Chad Frankenfield, absolutely night over for him. He had nowhere to go. As Jesse was just a victim of circumstance. Crump got into the back of another lap truck. These are 2 lap trucks in front of Scott Crump in the 90 truck, turns one into the other, and it looks like Rasmus overcorrects, comes back in front of the field, gets Thomas Sherman, Sean Ryan, and just kills Chad Frankenfield. Chad Frankenfield, let's go on board with him, because his truck practically went to a dead stop there.
Such a sudden impact.
Didn't even see it until it was too late.
Nothing you could do. It just shoots right back down in front of him.
Yeah, almost.
Absolutely no time to react there. You have, if you do have time to react, it's tenths of a second. It is maybe even less than that.
Not much for room for him to go, as he was starting to crowd Thomas Sherman there, but so he had a driver to his inside, nowhere to go. As Thomas Sherman's going to have a huge amount of damage. Sean Ryan's going to have some engine damage from that. Actually spins it around after making more contact with the 07 there. So a huge wreck to kind of wake us up from the show that R.C. Anderson's been showing up in front of the field. It is still treacherous out there.
Look at the strategy being played out here by the top 5.
Yeah, we got some drivers deciding to go down pit road. They have 5 tires, which means that they have 4 tires in the pits. And
top 5 stayed out.
Top 5 stayed out, but I think they're gonna get eaten up here for this heat, or before the end of this stage in, because there's gonna be a huge difference in speed of tires.
RC, it is. Oh man, it's gonna be just under. That's just gonna be over. No, just under 20 laps to go for the rest of the stage when they do get to green. And that's a lot of time. That's a lot of laps.
Almost seconds of a lap. They're going to be happy to still be on the lead lap, I would think. If not, absolutely ran over by the drivers behind them. All they can hope is that there's multiple cautions to extend this these caution laps out. Because right now, they're going to be relegated to the back of the pack before the end of this stage. So definitely some strategy being played. Again, drivers have 4 tires in the pit. So what these drivers that have come down pit road are saying is in the final run, they're only going to take 1 more set of tires. They don't plan on taking more than that. What the top 5 have an option of is to be able to take tires at least twice in the final stage. So that gives you an idea of some strategy being played, not only for this race, for the stage, but also the race at the end to help them determine. But what those 5 drivers will have to deal with is just the sheer amount of drivers that came down pit road. That's what's crazy. The sheer amount of drivers, you think it would have been split 50-50, but only 5 drivers have decided to go with the saving the tires for the end of the race. Everyone else will have tires here, so if they do take another set of tires at the end of the race, they're going to have a lot of cars to go through. There's that Jurassic Park. We haven't seen that one. That one was beautiful for
Robert Hill did end up coming down to pit, so now there's only 4. That leaves Enerson, Burrell, Crump, and Weeks on about 20 lap old tires. We did go green for the second stage at around lap 49, so it's about 20 lap old tires here for the top 4.
Well,
Oh my goodness,
it
here
looks
we
like
go.
the pace truck is off. We're going to be going green here once again. It looks like R.C. Anderson will be able to get himself back out to the lead.
It's going to be 3 wide. Is it going to block? Oh.
Ooh, Scott Crump slow going into there, getting bumped from behind from the 63.
Oh, the
Kwame Scott bumped it. Oh, he's going to be able to keep it straight. Kwame Scott is going to be able to keep it going straight. Now 3 wide down into the back straightaway, going into turn 1. Finds himself all the way up to the high side lane, just hoping to be able to keep it going now as he has a ton of inside damage. 16 out. Kwame Scott's going to hit the wall hard as we're going to have a big pile up down the front straightaway. Kwame Scott involved. It looks like the 44 involved, the 89.
Oh no! Scott Crump!
And Scott Crump involved at the end of the straightaway. I think he got turned late there. Got himself a ton of damage. I think that was well after the caution there. Oh boy, as business has been picking up and fenders have been falling off at the same time. As you see a little bit farther back from the actual wreck starting to happen. Did Tyler Dixon? Oh, Tyler Dixon got involved in too. So there was multiple wrecks throughout the field in that one, not just in one spot there. Sean Ryan's spinning out right in front, but that's gonna limit the field there. You see there, Kwame Scott slammed the wall. And then you see the drivers starting right behind. I believe it was the 85, all trying to avoid Kwame Scott potentially coming down the field.
Yes. You see the 90, he blanked out, and nobody was able to see him. He was able to see everybody else, and he got turned into the wall, and because he was blinked out that entire time coming off of 4. See, he's not showing up on your screen until he'll be in the wall. So he'll go away there, and the gap will close between Joyner and the truck in front of him. Well, you won't because he's blinked out.
Yeah.
Scott Crump is. Until he'll get into the wall, and to turn 1 is when he'll blink right back in. So that's just a matter of connection on Scott Crump's part.
Well, let's go back with Goodman there, because that's where the majority of these cars were involved in the wreck. As you see, some of them with blown engines even. So let's see if we can go back there to where Goodman is. And you'll see right where the checkup started to happen. Once Kwame Scott went into the wall, it started piling up from there. As I believe Goodman and a few other drivers all collided into one big mess. There's a lot to look at here, David.
A ton.
Yeah, it stretches out for a while. There we go.
Yeah, so maybe it was a good idea to stay out on tires, as it looks like everyone in the back of the pack has just been involved in an accident. And there was no rain to be blamed on that one. That was just the entire field.
Bunch of cars.
Yeah, Scott Crump on the radio, very unhappy with the driver behind him, 03, Joyner there, thinking that there's no way, if you couldn't see me, then how'd you hit me? But there was no seeing him. He was gone. He was absolutely gone from vision. So Scott Crump, once he goes back and rewatches it, we'll see that he wasn't there. He was a ghost at that point. But unfortunately for him, he's going to have a ton of damage, as will a lot of people.
Kwame Scott, such a strong truck. The rookie that's not really a rookie, but
Rookie for
oh my gosh, hard hit to that right side. I'm not sure, that might give him required repairs. I don't know if that hurts that suspension there on the right front.
Well, the pace truck will be lining them up here, and we'll be coming off to let them go green once again. Now it's only going to be a 14-lap run before these drivers have to come down pit road. That left me to believe that R.C. Anderson may have a shot of still winning this stage in, as I believe the nearest driver to be able to have new tires to battle with him. Let me see. I believe the 63 and the 03 are both of those drivers, I believe, actually on the tire strategy of taking tires this run. So he still will probably fall a few positions, but now with half the field being damaged and wrecked out, not nearly as far back as he was potentially going to have there. Yep, there you go. So yes, the two drivers up front are the only drivers with the old tires. As we are back underway here once again, RC Anderson back out front by a couple truck lengths. 63 will have a huge and massive run onto the outside of Ethan Burrell. Clear himself now will take to battling and have the tire advantage to go up and take the lead away from RC Anderson.
Yep, Jake Roll is going to soar right past that 50 truck in a matter of a few corners here.
As long as there's not a caution.
As long as there's not a caution, yes, exactly. And should end up winning the stage as well, because he seems to be the second fastest truck.
Little bump there. He is not waiting for it. He does not want to have a caution happen. He wants to use the tires while they're good and get around RC Anderson. He knows how difficult it is to get past him. Tires not playing as big of a strategy as I thought. You would normally see new tires by 20 laps just absolutely sail past. He actually had to work for it just a little bit to get around. So RC Anderson still has a play to have a really decent finish before the end of this. But Joyner there in the 03 now past Ethan Burrell as well as a few other drivers. Now going to try to see if they can catch RC Anderson and do just what this 63 did and get around him.
Yeah, Matthew Weeks, he fell out of the top 10 there. His old tires didn't end up working, being so far back in dirty air, and he's back in 10th there. You can monitor right there, but yeah, these guys are getting past. Ethan Burrell is back into 8th. These guys, Joyner should catch RC. But RC has been basically the class of the field.
Yeah, RC's showing how strong he is, because his fellow drivers that have decided to take the same strategy as him are falling through the field. Ethan Burrell all the way back to 8th, and Anderson still in 2nd as the yellow is out. Goodman involved. There's a few drivers on the front straightaway involved there.
Trevor Elam into the 55.
Yeah, 55.
Both of them around at the start-finish line. See who they collect. Dustin Durer.
Oh, Dustin Durer involved. 85 slammed into it. Goodman. Wow, fantastic job by Goodman. Then it's going to do a Joey Logano burnout on the front straightaway when it's not his chance to turn to do a burnout. Does a little burnout there.
Trying to push his way through.
Fantastic job. Yeah, fantastic job of stopping before reaching the 29.
It is a 29-second tally. I'm hearing it over the radio right now. Issued over to the bottom of your screen right now.
That means he will be out for the night. That will be the end of his race. Second tally, you were exited out of the race. But RC Anderson. RC Anderson deciding to come down pit road now to take on his tires. And is going to play a play here, because what it's going to end up happening from here now, RC Anderson does not have to pit when the stage will end in about 5 laps. So he's going to try to cycle himself back out into the lead. 63 saw what was happening, but was too late to make the move. Now we'll have to just go out and win the stage, and then have the RC Anderson back out in front of him again.
Yeah, the other Pro Edge trucks followed RC on the pit road. Ethan Burrell, Matthew Weeks. So they're all out of the top. Actually, no, Matthew Weeks didn't follow him down. I'm looking at stuff wrong. Ethan Burrell did, though. I didn't get that one wrong. Those two who started top 2 are all the way. When this timing and scoring updates here at the
Yeah, they're gonna
13th. Anderson. I didn't catch his
I
name
think they're
there.
going to be further back than that, but what that's going to do is they're not going to get stage points, but they are going to set themselves up with only about 4 laps of tire wear on their vehicles, which shows not to be as big of a deal. They're going to find themselves in front of the entire field when everyone pits at the end of the stage, if they do decide to pit. So 63, unfortunately, now has to just battle for the stage in, and then realize once that's over, he's going to have work to do to be able to get back up to R.C. Anderson again. So a lot of strategy coming out and playing here, as we kind of figured was going to be the situation, but we thought that was going to all play out in the third stage. It's already started to show its head here in the second stage.
So these caution laps, you know, I could see a little strategy maybe out of the 03. I think Latham Joyner could pull a little strategy here. With the amount of caution laps that they have had on these tires that they just got, what is 15 laps ago, we've ran about half of those under caution. So in actuality, I could see the 03 possibly pulling a strategy and staying out along with RC, Ethan Burrell, and the others that just pitted under this caution, in retaining some track position. So I mean, look out for that. You know, Latham Joyner, he's pretty sneaky when it comes to that. I did you know, he's pretty sneaky. I'll let you know that.
Well, it looks like we're going to be going back green here with the new coast of characters up front. Finch up there in the 76, Jake Finch. You got Shane Therian been running in the top 10 all day long. Ethan Stanley there in the 91. Tom Bourne in the 16. So we do have a slew drive. Corey Abbott there in the 21. 89. Brent Jones still with a very decent truck looking. I don't think he has any damage, so
it's a great run so far.
Having a great run here tonight. Going to find himself in the top 10. Green flag is out. 63 gets himself out to a couple truck length lead and is easily going to clear himself to be able to get himself out front. So now the battle to keep an eye on is going to be the 50 of R.C. Anderson back there, already starting to make some moves as he works his way up through the field here, as he has the freshest tires. So back there in the 3 wide.
Oh my goodness!
3 wide. Oh, he's gonna get turned. R.C. Anderson around and hit the inside. Yes, outside wall, hard hit for our strongest driver of the night. R.C. Anderson around right in front of his teammate there in the 37 of
Ethan Burrell.
Yeah, Ethan Burrell. 3 wide, tried a little too much there. Tried to go inside of the 62.
Putting it on the one truck of Jaden he did come up a little bit understeer, a little bit of tightness out of that one truck. Just got into that left rear RC, barely enough to take him around there. And Ethan Burrell, I mean, he did a good job to stop as much as he could, but that 50 truck took a hard hit.
One time R.C. Anderson decides to put himself back there. He pits and finds himself back there trying to play strategy move. Now finds himself with a ton of damage. He might still have enough speed to still be able to battle up front, but this is definitely going to hurt his chances of being able to go out and win this race after having no doubtably the strongest truck all night long. And this is why you have to stay tuned and keep watching these races, because you never know what's going to happen in these Smokin Gobbler Truck Series races. As much as you think one driver may have it completely won, and something like this happens and it just completely changes the whole outcome of this race. Now there's going to be a lot of drivers that have in their mind an open notebook to win this race, as the strongest guy has just gotten himself involved in the wreck. So now we're going to see drivers, I guarantee you here, Harrison, amp up as they start seeing their chances of winning this race becoming a lot more of an easier challenge for them. But what that does do is it's going to start causing these drivers to start driving over their heads, I believe.
My gosh, it just this race just turned upside on its head. Jake Rawl is gonna win the stage here. He's gonna finish under caution. So they're just gonna count the stage there.
They tagged it at lap 87.
Lap 87, and it looks he stayed out. So then, if they tagged it at lap 87, then they were allowed to pit. Then after that, without losing their spot for the stage. So these guys stayed out up front. Latham Joyner ended up pitting. He's going to end up 10th. So Jake thinks that these tires are still good. I think that they've run a lot of caution laps here on these tires, honestly. So I think he's made a pretty good call.
Yeah, we've seen some drivers stay out here. Our leader and a few of the top 5 stayed out. A lot of drivers decided to come back down pit road, and once again, we have more drivers up there to talk about. As looks like we have now Scott Crump back up there, surprising with the amount of damage. He's back up to 7th. Jeff Green, who was involved in an earlier wreck, started 39th, up there to 8th. So we got a lot of drivers that will now have a chance to try to go for a top 10 reasonably. R.C. Anderson relegates himself back to 16th with Matthew Weeks to 15th. I don't see Ethan Burrell. I didn't know where he went to. He's back there. He's in 6th.
Yes.
So he's the driver with the newest tires. So look to see if the 37, he was able to stop in time before hitting his teammate. Now we'll have the strongest car up here with the freshest tires for the drivers in front of him.
That 90 car looks really clean for how hard of an impact he took. I think the blinking really helped the amount of damage that he sustained.
Yeah, I don't see any damage on his truck. That is very bizarre.
Wow, big restart.
Yeah, live and die by the blink for Scott Crump. But yeah, 63 is out front and once again gets himself out to a pretty decent lead. Jeff Green involved in another contact. Oh, big checkup. Oh, 3-4 wide almost.
Oh, man, who was that on the outside? He lost so much momentum.
Oh, 03 bumps back Jeff Green, paying a little payback to him as they are still racing really hard here. As, oh my gosh, they're not done. Jeff Green getting bumped again. 03 of, I believe that's the 03. Yeah, 03 of Joyner there getting hit a couple more times as well. These drivers are all over the track hitting each other right now as, craziness right there outside the top 10.
Yeah, like you said, just outside the top 10. This isn't even in the top 10. So, oh man, look at RC. He's still got some pace in that truck, it seems, but I don't know about the damage.
We're seeing one driver making his way up through the field. Ethan Burrell already starting to look for the 3rd place. Is about to pass for the 3rd position. Underneath gets loose coming out on the outside. That's the freshest tires. Trying to make up for what his teammate has lost now and be the dominant driver. We saw him start up front early on, but fell back. Now with drivers with damage, he's going to try to see if he can be able to fight his way up to the front and show just being out there clean is the way to do it. So now Ethan Burrell in 3rd place. We'll try to see if he can track down a second in front of him to Shane Geary and for 2nd. More hit and contact back there. Jeff Green once again getting turned sideways, keeps it going as it looks like I think that was Brenton Jones maybe that him and Jeff Green made a little bit of contact. Jeff Green has just been silent after this restart.
Jeff Green, he's been beating and banging a lot tonight, and unfortunately, most of it hasn't really been his fault, except from a couple occasions from, scraping the wall. But it's had an eventful night from the heats to the LCQ, the B main, and then into this main race here tonight. He's had his hands full with that 38 truck, but he's still sticking it in there right outside the top 10, right up there in 15th actually. So see what else he could do. We still got a long way left to go in this race. Oh, loose out of the 62.
Yeah, battle shaping up between the 7th and 8th position there, as it looks like Joyner trying to see if he can work his way up past the 86 underneath them right now sideways. And don't look too far back. We counted him out. That's R.C. Anderson just now passing for 9th place and now trying to get him back up here. We counted him out. He's already back in the top 10 and gaining quickly on that, as he slowly will be catching up to this two-way battle for the 7th position as they start to catch up to Scott Crump. Here's R.C. Anderson just now in view, really throwing into these turns. So maybe he's not out of the race. Maybe that damage just levels the playing field, but he still has the pace. He is throwing it into these turns now.
I wonder if that's really all that he can do with this truck that he has now, is to just throw it in. And I mean, he's doing a really good job at maintaining and, you know, still gaining time. He's making a move on Latham Joyner right now. I mean, yeah, you really don't want to count out this 50. He's still looks like he's got some really good pace. So that truck! No!
R.C. Anderson up on 2 wheels still. He might go around.
Oh my gosh!
Keeps it on the ground, but oh my gosh, he went 2 wheels on one end and then 2 wheels on the other. I don't know how he kept it on 4 wheels, but oh my goodness, I've never seen that.
I am shocked, and I'm sad for RC because that's damage on the right side. But my gosh, what a ride! On your side,
I've seen that
on
in
your
Monster
2 wheels.
Jam. I don't think I've ever seen that in a truck race.
What?
As I don't know if he I don't know how he kept that on 4 wheels. Yeah, it hits his door frame, gets up on 2 tires. He's still driving it up onto the fence. He's on his side door and still keeps on going. If he still has speed after that and is able to get himself back in the top 10, count it over. R.C. Anderson, he's going to win the championship, because if he still has speed after what his truck just went through, it will be absolutely incredible. That was incredible that he's even still going after that. But Tally will go to the 86 as he hits the outside wall, goes back to the inside wall after contact with the 03. And then, we didn't see that. Matthew Weeks absolutely gets crunched. Absolutely gets crunched with the 86 there. That will probably end Matthew Weeks' night, as that went straight into his, right into the front of his vehicle there.
Just basically, just like the same thing would happen with Chad Frankenfield as well, and absolutely nowhere to go when that car springs back up off the inside wall after a heavy contact, especially onto the front end. It loves to spring right back up. Just absolutely no time to react there.
No, that was
that's like one of those scenes from Twister.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's twisted in front of you and you hit right into it.
I mean, if it was a Blade, he definitely lost out on that battle.
Wow.
That was fun.
There, finally, on pit road.
Beyblade, David, it's a game where you twist little plastic tops around, if you were wondering.
Never heard
you
of it.
never let it rip, Dave?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Must be new then. Can't be old.
Imagine, what was it, Jax, but more fun.
Did you ever play with yard darts? Were yard darts banned before you were a kid?
Banned? I don't think they've ever been banned.
They're still currently banned. There's the darts you throw up in the air and somebody would come down and stick in somebody's head. Lawn darts, I think they're called. Yard darts.
No, I don't think I played with that. Is that what you played with, David?
Yeah. I was always a winner. That's why I can still talk.
Consecutive champions for David Huckleberry, getting his wins where he can. But we're still going green here, or still under caution here. We'll be going green here very shortly. Give a shout out to 89 there, Brenton Jones. Still absolutely clean truck. How he has done that, I have no idea, because this has been just it's been hard to get around any wreck when there's walls on the inside and outside of you. That front straightaway has been like a testing field of new cars to try out their new airbag system. It has been carnage on that front straightaway of just nowhere to go, just slamming into each other. And that 89 has it's not even a scratch on that truck. I don't know how he's done that. Well, let's hope for Brent Jones' sake. I'm not a curse giving guy, and he's able to keep that truck looking pretty. But we're about to go green here, up at the front of the field. 63. We'll be waiting for the pace truck to go down. We'll have the 61 of Shane Therian to his outside, and the 37 to his to directly behind him. Once again, gets out to a couple truck length lead, but now we'll have the newer tires of Ethan Burrell right behind him, trying to track him down. As they have close to around 46 laps left to go in this race.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see with Jake here that when if we do get another caution sometime soon, will he decide to pit then? Because at that point, the tires have gone through several heat cycles, which, I mean, in turn in itself would not help your tire grip. Your new grip that you have on your new tires, if they do go through several heat cycles like they have. But also we finally started to rack off some laps here since he's last put on those tires. So, oh my gosh, those guys are getting really loose on the bottom. It's going to be interesting to see what he does, what kind of strategy he wants to play out here if we do get another yellow soon.
Scott Crump now finds himself in third, doing a really good job there. Battle right there. That is, I believe that's for 6th and 7th position right there. Good battle between Stanley there and Finch. Finch, one of those rookie drivers, doing a good job trying to wrap around the bottom lane, get past that heavily front nose damage of the 91. Unable to, as the 91 will have the speed down the front straightaway, able to clear himself. Now we'll try to see if he can track on Tom Bourne and that yellow 16 truck right in front of him.
Ethan Burrell is keeping within a second there of Jake Roll right there at the front.
Yep, he's still there. He's about 6/10 out, so slowly catching him. But will he have enough time, and will his tires stay on? The biggest problem with Ethan Burrell that we saw in the heat races, or not the heat races, but the stage is that he did not have a long run truck. His truck definitely dropped off the pace. And the 63 on the long run was pretty stout, so we'll have to keep an eye on it and see if that is going to stay the same case. As R.C. Anderson now finds himself into the 16th position and still gaining spots. I don't know how R.C. Anderson is still gaining spots back there, trying to go up forward past some of these other drivers. He just went around Goodman there, so we'll have to keep an eye on and see if that 50 truck is still able to get a top 10 before the end of the night.
That Bayco Toyota is a trooper. RC is a trooper, and you know he's doing everything he can to get as many points as he possibly can, because I mean we know that he should be at the front if he didn't get involved in any of those wrecks, but it's the way that some of these races play out. That certain aspects of races, certain decisions that you make have certain consequences, and obviously RC was met with a pretty big consequence there with pitting and going back to just outside the top 10 out of one of those restarts and getting involved in a couple crashes has definitely it's definitely taken him out of contention for the win. I'm not sure about a top 10 yet, though. We'll have to wait to see for the rest of the race. As Scott Crump and Shane Therian are battling for our final podium position at the moment.
Yeah, third place going to battle right there. Shane Therian looked inside of Crump, unable to do it, and now finds himself back behind him once again. Scott Crump just thankful to still have a clean truck compared to what it could have been if his neck code situation didn't happen, but still having a good run for Scott Crump in the third position. As you see the speed difference between some of these drivers in these lap down. As we speak of lap down, there's only 21 trucks on the lead lap, so over half the field are a lap down or just completely out of the race. So has been a true testament to just how much carnage has been tonight, and just start to see if any of these drivers are able to even finish before the end of this, because I don't think we're done, Harrison, with cautions just yet.
Absolutely not. And yeah, when you mentioned it a lap ago with the drivers going by these lap cars, and I saw on that 34 of York when they went by him, he had a ton of nose damage. And just saying, when you really do get engine damage of that factor, and it does hurt your engine, your RPMs, and all that type of stuff. These trucks run at such low RPMs, and they don't have that much power as obviously they used to back in the day. That it's so hard to keep up with a hurt engine, more so than what it would be in, say, maybe a Xfinity or a Cup car. You're just at a completely different pace. You're basically half a second to a second slower a lap. It's quite incredible. Shane Therian he seems faster than Scott Crump here. He's obviously catching was one thing, passing was another. And we're seeing it right here. He's kind of sizing him up here off the exit of 4, see what he could do.
Well, we were wondering about Ethan Burrell, if he was going to be catching the leader. He has started to lose pace a little bit, as we saw in the stage races. He was a little bit slower, but we are seeing the battle here between these two for third position on board with Shane Therian here in this purple truck. Has a lot higher of a groove, Harrison, than it seems to help him be able to get down these straightaways and a lot straighter exit.
It's definitely, it seems like it should help towards the end of the run. He might start to, it'll start wearing out his rear tires more than his fronts if he keeps doing that in 3 and 4, just based on the line and, trying to get a straighter exit, getting back to the gas and the power super early. Is spinning those rear tires faster than the fronts, so it's going to use those rear tires a lot more than what he was in the front. But it seems to be kind of even on turn 1 and 2. He's keeping it low. No, he's entering high. Never mind. He's going to try for another straight exit. So yeah, he's going for it right here. He's trying for all these exit runs on Scott Crump. It'll hurt his rear tires, but if he keeps those under control, he'll be completely fine.
What I've seen through the field, it almost looks like multi-class racing here. What you would see in like IMSA or some of the road course divisions where there's multiple classes, just due to the speed difference in some of these trucks with so much damage on them compared to the ones that have no damage. There is such a big difference in how these trucks are driving out here that it is catching a lot of these drivers unaware of the gapping to each class, essentially. And I'm seeing a lot of drivers having to check up or slam into the back of someone. So that's definitely to keep an eye on as we come to 30 laps left to go in this race. That may end up bringing a caution before too long. Just takes one driver to, which we've seen tonight, just misjudge it and end up tapping the driver in the wrong direction. As you see a good battle there, it looks like the 89 of Brent Jones going around the 62. I believe that is for the 11th position. So Brent Jones now into the 11th position. Now we'll try to track down the number 1 of Jaden Rasmussen for 10th, only about a second in front of him.
Yeah, you mentioned that IMSA, the comparison towards IMSA with passing all these lap trucks and the rate of speed and the difference that they are. Yeah, if you've ever experienced IMSA, if you've ever watched it, if you've raced it on the sim here, if you race with us on the sim on iRacing, you have to be so aware of where the faster cars are, because they you have to give them a line. The faster car always has the preferred, like the right of way, basically, in IMSA. So as the slower car, you have to maneuver yourself in a way to where the faster car can get around you safely, but also make sure that you don't lose time yourself. As my gosh, the 16 had to do that and get by the 55 right there coming out of turn 4. It was really close.
Yeah, this is a battle for 5th position right here. Tom Bourne, you just saw just right there the difference in speed and how difficult it is, because this is not a track where you can just be able to avoid someone. Your car is sliding at all times here in these turns, this faded asphalt. It's hard to control the vehicle as it just wants to go into a 4-wheel drift, and sometimes that lane is preoccupied with a slower traffic vehicle, and that's when contact is made. Luckily for the 16, able to get around that slower vehicle without any contact. But again, good battling here through the top 10 and the top 5. As again, Scott Crump and the 61, both taking different lines, but ultimately neither one is able to gain a big advantage over the other for 3rd place.
Absolutely. Shane Therian still working Scott Crump here, sizing him up. I think he's really waiting for Scott's tires to start to fall off, to where he can actually make the pass, more efficiently, or actually get a better run on Scott Crump, because Scott is he's running a completely different type of line than Shane. He's a lot lower entering the corner, throughout the corner actually, as he washes up the track. Shane enters, yeah, exactly. Shane enters high, but he exits low, and Scott will enter low and exit high. It's all about how are they using those tires. Shane is using the rears a lot more than Scott, and Scott is using his fronts a lot more than Shane.
Well, 63 just checked out. He's about 6 seconds in front of these two right here that are battling for 3rd. Jake Roller, 63, has absolutely dominated after R.C. Anderson's issues. And Ethan Burrell, even with fresher tires behind him, you see right here, has been losing time consistently to the leader. Just a tenth every lap, and it's growing more and more. One lap was even almost half a second as Ethan Burrell may have had to check up or gotten loose. But 63, once again, having showing his speed, one of the only drivers to keep up with R.C. Anderson. And now with R.C. Anderson preferably back behind a wall of damage on his vehicle, 63 has had it all to himself up front.
Impressive all night, especially out of a rookie himself like Jake Roll is. We have seen a lot of rookies in this series so far this season. They've performed very well, and Jake Roll he's entered his name into that conversation, and he's got 22 more laps, 21 as he comes to cross the line this time. Exits out of 4. He's doing everything right now. He's just got to hope and pray there's no yellow, honestly.
That and getting around these lap cars, as he's about to come up on 6 lap trucks there and in front of him with a ton of damage, so he'll be catching those very quickly. Brent Jones just entered his name and the top 10, as well as the driver we haven't talked about at all, Anderson. Alex Anderson, 97, now finds himself in 9th. So good job by the 97 there. Started way deep in the field. I believe he started all the way back in the 41st position. So Alex Vandersang, even with damage on his vehicle, from 41st up to 9th, definitely showing to be one of the largest gainers here in the race so far. In the top 10, trying to see if maybe he can keep up and catch up to Corey Abbott, because now we'll be coming down to only about 20 laps left to go. But here in just a bit, the leader will have to pass quite a bit of lap traffic here. He's got a huge grouping of lap traffic right in front of him. And that's going to be dangerous, as those lap cars are going to try to see if they can stay on the lead lap in front of him, as he tries to put all those in front a lap down.
Yep, and these trucks right in front of him, absolutely, it's a hornet's nest. He's got to be extremely careful how he picks and chooses where he wants to go, and where he wants to pass these trucks. And then just up ahead, you have some other trucks, 2 other trucks right up there ahead of this group. And then I believe the truck right in front of them is RC.
Anderson is showing the damages have. Oh, it's
Oh,
in front of the leader. Caution is out.
Caution!
I knew that was it was gonna be too good to be true for the 63. He's just happy that wreck didn't involve him with it. As the 05 there got contact by Goodman. Goodman just came up the racetrack just a little bit, turned the 05 around, not completely, to the benefit of the leader there. But I knew it was gonna be difficult to get around the lap cars, but the leader just happy to at least be able to have a truck after that.
Scary. That's scary to see when you're the leader. That's what you don't want to see when you're the leader, is the trucks wrecking in front of you. Luckily, they wrecked up high while he was down low, and he was able to just miss it completely and easily. And, Robert Hill didn't completely spin out, but he was enough sideways to trigger the caution. So yeah, the two things that Jake Roll really didn't want to see. Number one, I believe, was the yellow, but number two, he almost got caught up in that.
That is going to cause the yellow. That is going to allow these drivers to stack back up and go down pit road to be able to pit here. They're pitting right now as we speak. That was a battle for drivers trying to stay on the lead lap that caused that caution between Goodman and the 05 there. So they were battling for position, but also to try to stay in front of the lead lap, and both drivers will actually be able to stay on the lead lap from that. Looks like Hill got sideways enough to trigger a caution and still be able to register them ahead of the leaders. So both of those drivers will take advantage of that contact being made and stay on the lead lap here, as you see some of the drivers just coming down pit road maybe to try to get more damage fixed here. But 63 is going to stay out front here with Ethan Burrell to his outside. So we're gonna line them up and have about a 13 lap race to the end of this.
Absolutely. No tire saving at all now. It's 15 laps. Just got a fresh set. Everybody got some good years on, and we got ourselves a heat race to the end.
I think really gonna have to keep an eye on Crump. Crump not the best at the tire saving. It looked like he definitely slowed down quite a bit. Definitely had the older tires as well. Now is going to have a clear gun to go as hard as he can. Going to have that inside row, and looks to try to maybe keep up with the 63 to see if maybe he can go to battle with him. But he's going to have to try to get around Ethan Burrell as quickly as possible before the 63 decides to check out.
This is going to be a very exciting last little bit of this race. We've had a lot of surprising incidents, especially when they've involved some of our top contenders, like R.C. Anderson or Kwame Scott or Scott Crump. I mean, Scott Crump is completely fine, it seems like, on the damage front, but it was a scary incident to see for his perspective, that it seemed like his race was completely over, and to see him that, it basically kind of helped him to get any damage. Although very unfortunate that he did blink out, and I do believe that's the reason why he did spin out, because he got turned whilst blinking out. It didn't cause any damage to that truck, so he's still good. He's still up here in third place. He's looking for more, though.
Well, the pace truck will be going down pit road here, and it will be back over to the 63 to allow him to go to an early restart, as he jumps out quite a bit earlier than the rest of the field. Gets himself out plenty clear of Ethan Burrell, who was able to clear himself down for the second position. So now we'll have about half a second already between him and Ethan Burrell. So we'll see if that... Oh, we get a truck going through the grass in 39 back there. So already a driver around, but still going green. No damage, nothing further back behind there. So still green up front. Ethan Burrell now having to try to battle back Shane Theory and Scott Crump. Surprisingly lost a few positions there as, very close. 16 almost made contact with the back of Scott Crump as a good battle for 5th position there between Stanley and Tom Bourne. Tom Bourne, now going to get dive bomb by the 76 of Finch as they're 3 wide. 3 wide contact.
Tight. That's tight, but they got through it.
Oh boy, they were able to keep going. Luckily, they checked up and let Ethan Stanley save it, and able to let him continue going.
Ooh.
Tom Bourne still getting battled hard by that 76 of Finch, and Corey Abbott now trying to throw his name into the hat. I don't know if I would. That was a few wrecks that could have happened and should have happened.
Yeah, I don't know if it's over yet. I mean, we've got Razimus, we've got Latham Joyner, Razimus. No, that's not. That's Alexander Vandesen. I apologize. I saw the purple, and I misread.
Now that's Alex Vandesen there. Yes, he's in 9th, battling for trying to stay in 9th, as it looks like Joyner there in the 03 is able to get around him and pass. Brent Jones behind. 03 slams the wall back down the
trigger.
Still going
green. Trigger.
No, it's not going to trigger. Vandesen sent Liam Joyner just straight into the wall. Hard contact for that Jimmy Johnson paint scheme, as that little bit of contact just was enough to send him straight on into the wall head on. Boy, that was a pretty hard hit.
Man, this thing got back to the gas sooner than Joyner, and just got into the back of that 03 in the left rear, and obviously he's tried to correct it, as you could see as he went up to the wall, overcorrected it.
Well, that puts Brent Jones now up into the 9th position, right behind Corey Abbott. So Brent Jones still clean truck, avoided everything in the 9th position. So good job by Brent Jones here, as he continues to have a very strong run here at Phoenix. But so far, it's been the 63 from the middle part of stage 2 on, as he is now finds himself at a 2nd lead. Doesn't matter if you take on tires or not. 63 is going to try to prove a point here tonight and get himself a victory, as Ethan Burrell now in 2nd with a very fast incoming Shane Thurian, only about 2/10 behind him, looking to try to see if he can get around him in the next, hopefully before the end of this race in the next 6 laps.
Nobody's had anything for RC or Jake Roll tonight. Maybe besides Kwame Scott, but we didn't really see enough of them up front, like we did those two of the 50 and the 63.
That 16 in the wall got turned down the front straightaway. Hard contact for.
It's the yellow.
It blew his engine up. It was hard. He got turned straight into the wall. Tom Bourne, I think that was a battle for 5th position. Absolutely just blatant contact there. That was after the contact already made, just sent him straight into that wall. As he hit the wall. I didn't see him hit the wall. All I saw was the 76 getting into the back of him. So yes, it looks like the 16 hit the wall and then got contact from behind it, sent him further into the wall, into the inside wall, as it blew his engine up completely there. And that will cause our caution. That will set up a green-white checkered. Maybe some further. So this is what they're saying is what actually caused the caution. This is Sean Ryan in the 9 truck.
Said he was trying to get low and didn't.
Oh, blew his engine right there. He tried to get low enough he knew he wasn't going to make it back to the pits, and he tried to go low as possible.
Yes. And then the apron ends basically right there, and that's the track surface.
Yeah, it looks like the 9 just blew an engine trying to get off the racetrack. Didn't know he should have gone to the grass. He thought that was low enough to trigger a caution, but it did trigger a caution as it would in real life if a car blew his engine on the. I mean, both of those would have caused a caution. The car slamming the inside wall would have caused a caution in real life. So ultimately, even though the 9's going to be tallied at fault for the issue for causing that, it would have caused a caution regardless in real life. But unfortunately for the 63, he's going to have to do it all over. He was well comfortable of all the battling behind him. Now we'll have to try to do it once again. I don't know how much of an issue that'll be, Harrison. We've seen him on the restart clear himself out by many, many truck lengths and never has to worry about anyone behind him. What would you have to do if you were in Ethan Burrell's situation? You've seen how much he's able to clear out. How are you going to have to get through the gears here and change the scenario here for yourself?
Well, if you're Ethan and you were looking at that last restart, or you were looking at a restart from before or something like that, from wherever the 63 was leading, you're gonna try to pick up on some things that he's doing towards the restart box. Maybe right before he goes, maybe he's going at certain points. But at the previous restart, we saw him go super early. We never saw him go really super early during the race. So I mean, right now it's the end of the race, and the 63 will try everything to throw Ethan off. But Ethan Burrell, he'll try his best to time it and hopefully use that those notes that he picked up throughout the race on mannerisms on how the 63 would restart and stuff like that. Maybe he could use that to his advantage and get a better jump this time.
Well, the pace car will be going off this time. This was set up for a green, white, checkered 63. Can he do it again? Looks like it's going to be Ethan Burrell to his outside once again. See if Ethan Burrell is able to do anything different. Scott Crump now will have the outside lane outside of Shane Therian. Will he have anything for Shane Therian and Ethan Burrell? Will Brent Jones stay in the top 10? He's in 8th. Will he gain positions from his starting or from his position here? Will Jeff Green get up there further? He's in 10th after having a ton of damage. A lot of questions to be answered here, as it looks like the pace car is going to go around one more time. So one more time. Looks like someone on track stopped, and they're going to extend the lap by one more. So that's just going to add more intensity to these guys. It's going to amps up the anxiety for the 63 and some of these other that know they're about to go to battle, and it could all end with a big heap of trucks piled into each other on the front straightaway.
I don't really have any doubt that the 63. I don't think he can. I think he can do it. He's been doing great all night. Absolutely amazing. And I don't see why that could change now. But under a certain amount of pressure, people could fold, and we'll see here. But he seems strong enough. I think he'll be all right. But obviously, this is a live sport, and you never know what can happen.
Absolutely. Well, here we come back around. Pace truck will be off. We'll have a green, white, checkered set here. Will the 63 be able to have a wonderful start again? He does so. Will be able to clear himself out by a couple truck lengths, comes back up, and is now going to try to see if he can set pace and leave them all behind as they are starting to scatter back and straighten up, as we still see some drivers making some very strong moves there in the mid part there.
Yeah, these guys right here, this three-way battle, this is for the final podium spot. They want to come talk to us up in the booth, so this is really important.
Yeah, as you see Scott Crump just to the outside of Shane Therian there is able to go side by side. Right now, Ethan Burrell only a couple truck lengths out behind the 63. Is he going to have anything going into the final turn? It doesn't look so. It looks like the 63 is going to be able to have enough spacing as Scott Crump clears himself for third and is now going to set pace and finish in that position. Out of turn 4, it looks like it's going to be the 93 from the second stage on. He had enough and had the pace to win it here at the 150 at Phoenix. and is the third winner of the season of the Smokin Gobbler Truck Series. So good win by Jake Roll, one of our rookie drivers coming on strong, showing that he is here for a championship. And it all starts from this win on back. So good win by the 6th space. He goes up and accidentally misses the turn a little bit and gets into a little bit of contact. But yeah, as far as Jake Roll's night goes, this was absolutely the sweetest way to finish it off and top it off. So we'll see how far he makes it into the playoffs here. As tonight will definitely be a big effort towards that.
What a performance. He and RC were the class of the field. RC had his issues. Jake Roll didn't. And, he capitalized on everything that was thrown, on everything that was, set up against him tonight. And, late race yellows, having to deal with those, restarts, all that good stuff as he's burning it down all the way down the front stretch.
Wow, we had a couple really good finishers by some of our drivers back there. Brent Jones able to get himself into the 8th position. Jeff Green battled back hard to get 9th. Alex Vanderson from 41st up to 6th. Corey Abbott with a good 7th place finish as well. Michael Goodman even got himself up into the 12th position. So all around, Do Good Motorsports had a very good night for themselves. As we give it over here to David Huckleberry, he's going to give us our race rundown of the finishing positions here tonight.
All right. Find it. I'm waiting for him to say finish so I can pull him up. And now it does. That's not coming up for me. Well, it's not. There we go. We got all those heats and stuff in there, so. Okay, so tonight, Jake Roll in first, Ethan Burrell second, Scott Crump third, Ethan Stanley fourth, Shane Therian fifth, Alex Van de Zant sixth, Corey Abbott seventh, Brent Jones eighth, Jeff Green ninth, Jaden Rasmus 10th, Nathan Mon 11th, Michael Goodman 12th, Cole Mickrut 13th, Andrew Hardcastle 14th, Jeff No 15th, R.C. Anderson 16th, Lathan Joyner 17th, Robert Hill 18th, Cody McCorkle 19th, Jake Finch, Tyler Dixon, Kwame Scott, Tom Bourne, Sean Ryan, Michael York, Mark Murphy, Josh Hodges, Dustin Dewar, Brad Herman, Matthew Weeks, Kynan Jones, Trevor Elam, Jesse Rasmus, Kendall Noah Player, Thomas Sherman, Cash James, Chad Frankenfield, Daniel Martinez, Alayton Norgard, Cole Snyder, Trey Holmes, Michael Hosack, and Chad Thernquist. And I'm going to let you guys handle the post-race interview because I would like to get out of here before midnight if possible.
Yeah, well, we'll try to see if we can speed these along. This was a long night indeed with all the cautions. So let's see if we can go ahead and pull Scott Crump into here. I'll do that real quickly. Scott Crump, I know it's been a long night, and overall you came home third, but you got lucky and you kind of bit a bullet whenever you got a little netcode situation that sent you around, but it looked like no damage. Was there truly no damage to your truck after being spun around into the wall there?
It was killed. I don't know how hang on there, but I did. That outside line is just makes it somebody trying to pass on the inside very hard. So I was holding people up, but I hang on to P3.
Well, overall, good P3 finish for you, Scott. And this is good for points to trying to battle for another championship. This is your third season trying to go for it. You know how hard these are to come by and everything, and getting good finishes every year. It's getting more and more difficult. Are you going to just try to continue with this strong run on to go forward from you?
I'm going to try. The competition's definitely getting stronger out here. I mean, it's not as easy as it was 3 years ago. It's definitely gotten a lot stiffer out here. I mean, top 10, top 15s are really strong. Like anybody can win in the top 15.
That's good for the competition side and definitely for the broadcast side here. Well, good third place finish. We're gonna go ahead and let you do a sponsor shout out as it is quite a late night. And we wanna go to sleep while it's still a Sunday.
Yeah, get a shout out to y'all first, 3Y TV. Also give not 3Y TV, sorry about that. Elite. Give a shout out to my sponsor, Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Jimbo's been with me for a long time. We're good friends. And also get a shout out to my team, White Lightning Racing. I think Chad got caught up in an early wreck. I think so did everybody else. I think I was the only one that came out here with a decent finish. But get a shout out to my wife and son. My son's in the hospital with COVID. So, yeah. So we'll see how it goes next week.
Absolutely. We'll hope to speak to you again as the season continues on a third race, but definitely some points moving in your direction in the right way. So good third place finish for you, Scott.
All right, thank you.
That was our third place finish there of Scott Crump. And let's see if we can go ahead and get Ethan Burrell in here. Ethan Burrell, overall, you came in second place. A good run for you. But just not anything for, it seemed, Jake Roll and your teammate there of R.C. Anderson. But you did miss quite a bit of wrecks. One of those included being R.C. Anderson's wreck. Are you just happy to come home second after you see all the carnage that went on throughout the night?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the second place. Early on I felt like I was maybe like probably about a fourth, fifth place truck. And yeah, I had to figure out the downshifting in the corners. I was wanting to keep it in fourth gear, but those guys were making so much speed doing the downshift, so I kind of had to figure that out first half of the race. And I got RC kind of burnt on that strategy call there during the second stage, and I thankfully barely got back up to where we were, but I know he got caught in the mess from it, so that was unfortunate. But yeah, no, Jake was on rails, man. I was trying everything I could, searching for grip, and he just kept walking away. So, at the end of the day, we'll take a podium all day long.
Absolutely. Well, again, it's a good run for Pro Edge. I think Pro Edge has been in the top 5 for all of the races here, and it continues on from here. I forgot if I asked you if you're running for points. Are you running for points for the full season?
Yep, we are in it for points here. It's the only elite series I'm able to run full time, so we're full on in the points here, and should be looking pretty good now, I think. I've put together a couple good results, and so we'll see how it shakes out.
Absolutely. Well, we want to let you go ahead and do your shout outs here. Good, strong second place finish. Eventually, you'll get one of these wins. It's always been right there in the top 3. Been coming to talk to us for a while. Hopefully here, though, we'll get to talk to you in victory lane as the number 1 person. But yeah, we definitely want to let you go ahead and do your shout outs before we end out tonight.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, shout out to my grandma Carol and Betty for watching. All the guys at the Pro Edge shop. Like I said earlier, I feel bad RC got burnt on that bad strategy call, but either way, I mean, we had tons of pace, and just thanks to you guys for giving us these nice broadcasts for people to watch and us drivers to go back and watch later and take notes and whatnot. And yeah, just thanks Chad and everybody for putting these leagues together. And yeah, we'll go on a next race, and hopefully we'll get to that top spot.
Absolutely. Well, again, good second place finish, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you some more and continue your drive to try to go about getting a Truck Series champion.
Yep, thank you guys.
Well, that was second place. Let's go ahead and bring on our tonight's winner here. Jake Roll with us here now. Tonight's victor comes home. Battle with R.C. Anderson when he had issues. It was all Jake all the time after that. Good run. Took off from them, even with multiple restarts, able to stay out front where it needed to be, and came home tonight's winner. Jake, if R.C. Anderson had stayed out there, do you think he still had something for him, or do you feel like you don't even want to test that and just gonna walk away with a victory here tonight?
Yeah, he was kind of in front of me, early in the race. And then I know he had troubles, but early in the race, I was just trying to keep my truck clean, collect as many stage points as possible, and honestly, once like during that second stage when I kind of pit when we had gone on a longer run and he didn't, and then I got around him coming towards the end of the second stage. I knew everybody was going to pit, or he was either going to stay out on about 5, 6, 7 lap Boulder tires. And I knew I'd be able to get around him quick enough before yellow came out. So I was very confident where I was sitting. I absolutely love Phoenix, so this is definitely my favorite track and by far my best track.
Definitely showed tonight as you had pace all night long, especially on the long runs. We heard from Ethan Bro, it was the shifting that really got him, and the shifting that helped you get that strong of a long distance run there. What would you feel like the biggest thing to overcome tonight? Was it just trying to get around the lap traffic? Was it just trying to keep the truck underneath you with the downshift? What was the difficultness of this track here?
I would just say the craziness on the restarts, especially when I was kind of in the middle of it, when I had pit in the middle of stage 2, as well as the start of the race. I kind of botched my qualifying effort, so I started like 6th, and then when I pit, I came out about either like 5th or 6th, something like that. So I just needed to make sure I didn't, get any damage or anything like that to ruin my chances. So it was just being patient, but at the same time, not really wasting time, just not putting myself in a bad spot. And honestly, all the lap cars were, super communicative, and just they would either ask where I wanted to go or I wanted them to go, or I would let them know stay low or stay high or whatever. So the lap traffic was not really an issue at all, except for the one time off of 4, they decided to spin right in front of me, and I was like, "Oh, here we go! Just don't come down and hit me." Obviously, got through that, so it was clean sailing ahead.
Well, we did. We were on board with you when that happened, so definitely something for you to go back and watch, as we had noted that was going to be a scary part of it all. But overall, again, you came home tonight's victor, third race of the season. Still a long ways to go, but this definitely helps you in the points run to try to go about locking yourself into the chase to go for an elite championship here. But overall, we want to give you back over the mic and let you do your thank yous and shout outs, because it is difficult in this series and any elite series to come home in the top 3 to be able to do those shout outs. So when you can, you want to take advantage of it. So we'll give you back the mic here, Jake.
Absolutely, yeah. I got to thank everyone over at Eons Motorsports. My teammates in the race tonight were Nathan Mon. He battled back through some adversity, got involved in one of the earlier wrecks, finished 11th. Jeff No, 15th. Michael York, and Brad Herman, they were all involved in a lot of the wrecks, so they were trying to fix as much damage as possible to keep their, keep moving through the field. It's a great team to be a part of. I can't thank the guys enough for letting me come on board. Obviously, everybody here at Elite Racing League, it's been a pleasure racing in here so far. It's pretty competitive, and very clean, so I really enjoy that. I got a couple people watching the broadcast, so shout out to my 2 good friends, Logan Joyner and Cole Martin. Yeah, and obviously you guys on the broadcast, you guys do a really good job with it, so can't wait to watch this one back. It'll be a little more special, and hopefully I talk to you guys a little bit more this season.
Absolutely. We hope to hear from you. Hope to see the battlings continue. We definitely like to see the toughest of the toughest go to battle here in the Elite Truck Series, as we get to introduce new aspects to it, like you and any of the other rookies that join. So love to see what you're made of here in the Truck Series and going forward in other Elite Series. But it all comes down to this series forward, and hopefully we'll get to talk to you again, Jake.
Appreciate it. Also, just want to shout out cornbreadhemp.com for being on the truck this season. It's great having them. So check their website out if you need any of their products. That's one of the team sponsors we have. So as well as Smokin Gobbler Barbecue for sponsoring the truck series here in Elite Racing League. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good rest of your night.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jake. that was our winner there. And overall, I'm tired. I'm sure Harrison tired. And I think David might be asleep right now at his steering wheel. He he had to do the Formula One race there as well. So we are completely exhausted here in the truck series. It's almost like we were out there, huh, Harrison?
Yeah, I mean, I think we started at around 9 o'clock, and we're ending at about midnight. So it was about a 3 hour event that we held tonight, and
Oh, you
long,
poor babies. I've been here since 6.
long, but it was fun. So
Yeah, definitely a good race to
good,
watch.
good,
Though.
really good racing, and really, really awesome win by Jake there, getting himself just fantastic. Really, it was great.
Well, I'm gonna end it for us as we're all gonna go to bed here. This is Gerald Campbell, Harrison Taillon, and David Huckleberry. We appreciate you joining us. We hope to see you again. I don't think next weekend, but the following weekend, I believe it is that we're gonna be going back going again at Bristol Dirt on September 7th. So no, is it Bristol Dirt?
Nope.
No, not Bristol Dirt. Don't. Yeah. Let me see.
There you go.
It is going to be Eldora.
Eldora Dirt.
Eldora on the 18th. So actually a couple weeks off. So it's going to be a little bit before you see us again, but it's going to be Eldora Dirt, which is better. I do like Eldora better than the Bristol track, if you can believe it. But yes, Eldora, we'll see these trucks once again going around that dirt track. Haven't seen that in a couple years in real life. We're about to see it again. We hope you join us. That will be on the 18th. Set your calendars because these drivers are going to be going hard once again, and I feel like we're going to have a fourth different victor that night. We'll see, though. Again, David Huckleberry, Gerald Campbell, and Harrison Town, thank you and have a wonderful night.